Kuna mtu hapa.
Oh, we to pass that cases.
They can like you work hard, you to wake up in the morning, dawn, you have to go for bribes, sleep in the parts is not enough. When you fail exams, is punished by the teacher, is paid, is shabbat. If you fail to be eloquent in your speaking or in your writing, you have to read more, you have to listen. For you to get an extra language, you have to dedicate more time to study, sharpen. Yes. So it's just like a simple mistake that you made can also make the mistake in decision making. You may have mistakes, you may have adjustment, but now to make a mistake, I'm going to see what actually I'm going to do. When I commence sleeping, yes, I understand that part without considering it thereafter.
Take the mic, one of you. You tell us which one have you shared and how they relate to us. Maybe you stand and face, if you don't mind.
One of them is most outstanding for me is that the most important part is always where it's inside. And it reminds me of a certain song by Kenny Rogers called Something Inside So Strong. Isn't that song?
How does it go?
You can get it.
A chorus?
A chorus. Then get something inside so strong. You do me so wrong. Yes. Oh no. That is it. So something inside so strong. No matter how do you want to shut my voice down, I'll always sing into your ears. So the most important part of any person, it's not unfortunate I'm not remembering the lyrics of that song, but it's because I was prepared to just talk about it, not to sing it. Thank you.
Who's ready at the back? Passing the mic, please. Passing the mic, and then you please over here.
So, I want to hear about point number 5.
Point number 5.
Yeah, no matter what you go through, you must,
the condition.
yeah, you must try to ensure you deliver your mark. In this, it means no matter what the struggles you go through, you must ensure as an individual you are successful in life. And again, the part of giving a legible mark, how I interpreted it, I interpreted it is the legible mark means after you're successful, ensure another person is also successful during your reign. Yeah, and I remember the words of Professor Pierre Rumo. You're only successful if at all your successor succeeds.
Okay. Thank you so much. Pass, is it Peter or
yes,
George? George.
Nice. Mine, I will also go with the 5th one. Mm-hmm. It says that no matter the conditions, you keep writing. And mine is because where we're coming from, sometimes we don't want to share where we're coming from. Mm-hmm. But today we are here because we did stop writing. We always took every opportunity as a chance to write. And I know the story may be long, but at least I'm here because I never stopped writing. So this means that in life, no matter in fact, it's even advisable to always count even the tiniest achievement at something as a progress. You know, even the smallest thing, you just consider it as something that you're making progress. So you keep writing until you get to a point where your writings becomes a story.
Okay.
And many people will be inspired by reading that story. So keep writing, it's relevant, important, and no matter what, you are so relevant in this world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Who else want to share, please?
Okay, I want to share with you the point number 3, which is uttering and correcting mistakes. We human, I want to relate with us because we are humans. We human are prone to making mistakes in and for you to be successful, you must correct them. You must first fail to be successful. So in the process of failing, that mistake, we are to accept that we've done a mistake in our endeavors, then not to throw the blames like the things should not. It takes the charge and accept the mistake, then it works upon correcting by the use of the error. So that was what I had.
Thank you. Okay, let's have a mic.
I'm going to speak on the second point. From time to time, you will experience
Painful shopping.
I think this resonates to when a person is about to give up. Like, they usually say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So with every trial, with every tribulation, all of it is a test. It is a test because the one who is testing you knows that you are well capable of handling that test. Any pressure that you may feel or you may experience throughout your journey is all for the betterment, because if not for pressure, then diamond would not exist. So with the painful sharpening, you have to learn how to take it as positive reinforcement towards making your life better, and rather not like at the maisha imekuwa nilio, like you take it as a positive nilio for you to change your life, and you learn how to deal with issues as they come along.
Thank you. Pastor, the mic.
Another one that stood out for me was number 1, that when you allow yourself to be held in someone's hand, you are able to achieve greater things. For me, this puts emphasis on the importance of having mentors in our lives, or a support system, or a form of guidance in our lives, so that we achieve better things. If we have interest in certain areas, then for sure we need people that will guide us, and these people need to be people that are excellent in these things, so that we can achieve great things in life.
Great. Pass him the mic.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Personally, a lot of them stood out for me. And number 1, you need someone to hold your hands. These people will help you, they'll tell you how to do it, because they're already there. They're going to, you learn from their mistakes, not from your own. It's better to learn from somebody than your own. Then, most importantly, whatever is inside you is very important, right? So we see that knowledge is power. When you have it here, nobody is going to take it from you. So make sure you have it right. Then don't give up. Press on until you make it where you want it. You say that you can do anything you want. So it's about how persistent you are, how consistent you are, and just have hope, a little hope that you will make it.
Thank you. Great. So it is evident that all those parts relates with our lives. And it says, the person understood, promising to remember, and went into the box, fully understanding its maker's purpose. And what we've just done, we've replaced the pencil in our lives. Now replacing the pencil with you, always remember them, never forget, and you become the best person you can be. We are all desiring to better our best, always. So those principles are so much applicable in my life, in your life. As we all agreed, you will be able to do many great things, but only if you allow yourself to be held in God's hand and allow other human beings to access you for the many gifts you possess. Do you know the gifts you possess? Your potentials. If you are to write 5 of your strengths, what would they be? Can you imagine? Allow other human beings to access you for the many gifts. Take a moment and write only 3 if you can't get 5. What are my gifts? Human person, ordinarily we become hard on ourselves. And you don't look at, the better side of it. Do you have gifts that will help you do greatness? If yes, 3 tu. Kama huwezi weka 5. What are you good at? What are your gifts? Of course, academically, check. That's why you're in the university. You are right. Ama mjandika hiyo? Si Kenya watu wenye wanaenda university ni machovi. No, it is an ability, it's not a gift. Okay, wewe umeandika gani? Wacha kujaribu. Lack of awareness sometimes limits us from doing those many and great things. They say in sociology, you cannot give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. You will always share what you possess or what you have. So it is important also to take time and ask ourselves, what are my gifts? Or what are my abilities that can help me do many great things if I allow myself to be held in other people's hands? And if you look at it, for you to be where you are, so many persons have held your hands, directly or indirectly. Well, there are people who have played the role behind the curtains, starting with our parents, our guardians, our teachers, our neighbors. Siku ile walikuwa wanakuja first year, kuna watu walifanyiwa harambee. Sindio? Kuna watu walifanyiwa harambee. Na hiyo harambee labda ilifanywa na wanakijiji. Na kuna mzee alisema tu, mimi kile kidogo yenye niko nayo, wacha nisaidie angalau mmoja kutoka kwa kijiji chetu aende chuo kikuu. An indirect contribution. So there are people who, we may not know them, some we know, but if you allow ourselves, there are people who are very slippery. They don't want to be held. They don't want to be held. Perhaps you can recall when you were in primary or secondary school. Kwa wale majamaa tulikuwa naita bireki. Kwa jamaa ni kreki baya. Hawezi ambiwa na mwalimu, sio? How did it end with them? Not very well. So there are people, yes, they have the greatness, but they don't want to be mentored, as you've said. They become stubborn, stupidly stubborn. Na wakiambiwa wanasema, potelea makindu. So we have greatness. Umezipata zako? Share one. Generosity is generous. Okay? Just be careful that people don't take advantage of your generosity. There are people who, they are very good in taking advantage of those who are generous. Sindio? Ukiwa na unga ndio wanakutembelea. Unga yako ikiisha, hawaoni. Na wewe utawaona unga yako. So generosity, yours?
I have a gift in storytelling.
Storytelling, you are an orator. Let's andika story vizuri. So you are a playmaker. You may not act those plays, but with the script, you find people to do it. Okay, thank you. Oh, you are a leader. Impactful, not just leadership. Impactful. Thank you. And so forth and so forth. So please own those gifts. They play a role in enabling us to move to the next level of the ladder of life that we were talking about yesterday. Secondly, you will experience a painful sharpening from time to time by going through various problems. But you need it to become a stronger person. Some of the stories you were sharing yesterday, have they made you a better individual? When you look back, have you ever gone through an experience, ukitoka pale unasema, enyewe that was baptism by fire, but thank God I went through it. Now I know better. Wakati unachemushwa, you feel like, hey, kwisha baba yangu. Kago bet. Sindio? But after you've gone through it, unasema, aha. So life has a way of sharpening us. Even being in the university, as you are saying, it is not a walk in the park. You know, going for classes and hauna kitu kwa tumbo, it's not easy. It's not easy. You know, kama kuna nyesha and you know where you stay, fare you hike. It's not easy. But there is no situation that is permanent. If we understand that this is just a formation process, and at the end of it, I will become a better individual. Muliwahi chapwa primary nye? Shulenu? Primo sio seko? Primo? Kuna wewe mwalimu ukisikia watu kuchapwa, jina yake jai. We had a teacher who would tell us, hug the wall. Have you ever hugging the wall? And you don't look back. Kwa ukuta. If you look back and a cancel, kama ukiguza tu hivi umefuta. Primary was really time for sharpening. So, and perhaps that's why we did well to go to the next level. So life has a way of sharpening us. If we are conscious of it, we know, this is just a way to help us become better and stronger persons. Third, as it has been mentioned, sisi sio nguruwe. Unajua nguruwe ndio ukimuosha after 2 minutes anarudi kwa matope. We have the ability to correct mistake. It is not over. There is always a second chance. And perhaps there are certain moments that you've gone through, unasema hapa yenyewe nilipanga. Hapo nilichoma. But I've learned my lesson. People who refuse to accept, to know and accept, they don't change and they don't grow. But those who say, mea culpa, I am sorry. I just go and say, there was a student here, admission number
5512.
Tunakumbuka? Ama ilipita? 5512. How was she? Watanielezea, sio? Anambia so that mark you left there. Kuna watu wengine wanajiachia mark, wanaandika remember I was here. Wanajipigia debe. So whether we like it or not, on this surface we always leave a mark. The question is, what kind of mark? Is it a mark that people will say, thank God we had such a person in our midst? Kuna mwalimu mwingine wa high school alikufa. Maboys mkaamua kwenda matanga yake na mkate na soda. Wana celebrate sana kifo yao mwalimu. wako na shindwa ni unyama gani aliwafanyia huko. So Alphonse will leave a mark. Our life expectancy in Kenya currently is what? How many years?
60.
It's supposed to be 64, but currently it's 46. Si uende tu Lang'ata leo uangalie, kuna watu wanazikwa leo, sio? Utaona ball, sunrise, sunset, and then do the mathematics. A good number of them, majority of them, are below 50 years. Na tukienda matanga kunakuwa na hiyo inaitwa eulogy. Eulogy. Wewe wanasema alizaliwa mwaka huu, akaenda shule hapa, akafanya 1 2 3. Kuna wengine hata unashindwa what do we write? Nilikuwa naambiwa na profesa hapa jana, sio? What do we write about this guy? Hakuna maka ameacha. It's terrible. So it is incumbent upon you and me to be aware that as long as I'm on this earth, hii Kenya, ninawacha alama. Swali ni alama ambayo inaonekana ama ni ile we keep guessing. So everyone is like a pencil created by the maker for a unique and special purpose. By understanding and remembering, let us proceed with our life on this earth having a meaningful purpose in our hearts and relationship with our maker. I would underline a meaningful purpose. Ile tulikuwa tunasema, if you know the why for living, you will endure anyhow. Hizo sharpening zinakuwa tu ni bonga points. Alright? Okay. Sawa. Are we alright? Okay. Ngotea wenzako. Mpe high five ama mzito. Mwambie karibu sana for today's session. How many of us are joining us today? You were not there yesterday. Those who are joining us, karibuni sana. I want to get from MKU, tuliokosa jana, guys from MKU. Those who are from UON and they were not there yesterday, wamekuja leo. Anybody? Okay, you're most welcome. You weren't there yesterday, you come today. Took order from the check. They're loyal. Thank you. So let me invite Dorothy. We do a small recap before we move on with what is in store for us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Fine, thank you.
All right, I'm also fine. We are going to do recap, and I would like to request if you can turn to your neighbor. Turn to your neighbor who was there yesterday. Make sure your neighbor was there yesterday. Because those who came today, they have to learn. So what's up? Yes, turn to your neighbor. Let him know what stood out for you yesterday. The things that stood out for you yesterday. Maybe you read it and then you share.
What was your take home? What stood out for you?
If you are not there, not worry. Get something.
How we are people who are different in getting information, becoming different intentions, instead of getting the wrong information.
Maybe you can raise up the hand. Not yet. Do you need a mic? No. Let's listen to that.
Thank you. Our reflection starts with a situation which was done first about the different kinds of people who might be here today. That there are those who have a small volume and therefore have a little space that they can accommodate content. So when the little space gets filled, the content starts spilling off and they cannot withstand anymore. There are those who are very well receiving content, but they are not retaining it anywhere. It's just getting in and down. Then there are the ones who have closed themselves. They really do not create any room for content. So content is just flowing over them, and they are not getting it. There is a group that is open, has experience, is ready to learn and to also carry home and share with colleagues, which was the biggest bucket. So that's where we started our reflection about the different kinds of personalities that we might be having. Let me hand it over to the colleague to say also something.
Also, yesterday we learned about things that...
Sorry, is that what stood out for him or for you?
For me.
He was to share yours and you are to share his.
So
yes.
It was supposed to be interchanged?
Yes. You are telling him what stood out for you. And then...
Anyway,
okay, it's okay. You just continue. I hope they have...
I know what stood out for him. The behavioral changes. That is things that may hinder somebody to change. Those traditional beliefs, religion, you can name them all. Comfort zone, the way you just don't want to get out of your comfort zone. It will make you not change because you believe this is where you should be. And it will also hinder you from getting opportunities.
Sure. And also, if you don't change, change will change you.
And change is inevitable.
Sure.
Thank you. Let's okay. Next. Yes. Yeah, we do.
Yes, I was enlightening those that didn't come yesterday, so I'm moving.
Okay, you didn't share with anyone?
I shared with those that were not here. Yes, so good morning. Good morning. What stood out for me yesterday is we said that growth can't be without what? Without change. And we also learned that most of our problems comes from the way we behave, right? Behavior. So that stood out for me. And we went ahead and learned about some of the things that leads to us behaving in a certain way. And one of it was our psychology, or psychological what? You guys were here yesterday. Yes, so what we learned is that since from your environment, where you came from, there are things that maybe you've always had, or there are things you've experienced with, and they have led you to behaving in a certain way. For example, if I was a kid in a certain environment and the people in there in that ghetto, most of them are stealing, I'm likely to find myself also trying to also follow that. Another thing that we said also is that our traditional beliefs and all that. For example, I believe that for us, for my tribe where I come from, we do things this way. So you find that that may limit me from doing a certain thing in a certain way because we believe it has to be done like this. For example, in a religion that I'm in, maybe we focus on some dressing codes. And that means that in a specific environment, I may be limited in dressing in a certain way because I feel like that's very wrong, right? So these things are things that all lead to behavior. So these are the things we learned yesterday. And of course, the most thing that stood out for me is that it may be hard, but it's never impossible. Yeah,
thank you so much. Let's next.
For you guys.
Yes, Sarah. With your friend.
What stood out for both of us? What stood out for both of us was the facilitator. I don't know why he came on so strong and how can I fit us to him on? We were talking about real life situations. There was no sugarcoating, senior. And I normally judge a talk by the facilitator. That's why I'm here today. Yes. Let us see what I know your investment. Me, I'm here because of the facilitator. Why? He came out so open. He was very understanding. And tunaongelea vitu vile ziko. Si ati tunajificha ficha sijui, no. That's what stood out for me yesterday. And you guys also stood out for me yesterday. You guys are very friendly. And we were all ready to learn. And we learned from each other. Because in our group, we learned to appreciate. I speak more, but he speaks far more, much more. Yeah, there's him, the one in glasses. He's anaangalia before he speaks. Yeah, he's up. And like me, who just burst out something the way I feel it. And I think Jana was the best. How like but Jana was the best. And real life situations. So I appreciate him so much. So much.
And I never said the money is a lot, but what stood out for me? Because when we said the speaker, and then the other thing was the fact that I noticed some of the major problems that we were addressing here, most of them were self-inflicted. And it was a good realization, knowing that, at times it escapes our mind. Some of the problems we struggle with, we think, okay, we blame everyone, and then we forget to blame ourselves also. And then the other thing that also stood out, to just be honest, in the same spirit, the food. The food stood out for us because once in a blue moon, at least it's good to. 3 meals a day, it's unheard of. So we are grateful.
You are there?
Good morning once again. My name is Shampiana.
Let's listen.
Yes, what stood out for Joshua yesterday was, first of all, the demonstration that was here on how we retain information and how we choose to retain information. Some of us have the ability to retain information, but we deliberately choose not to. Some of us have really limited ourselves, as my colleague has said before us, that some of the problems we have are self-inflicted, and that's one of them, that we choose to listen, we choose to retain information, and we know ourselves the way we are, so we should work to know the best way that works for us to retain important information. That's one. Another thing that stood out for him was the factors that inhibit changes in our lives, things like habits, traditional beliefs, that as was said, and he was very particular on the habits that once you're used to be doing something, it really becomes hard for you because you still want to continue in what you are doing. Another thing that stood out for him was, I'm forgetting it. Many things stood out for him.
Good morning. So I'm Joshua. Yeah, the name is somewhat tricky. Let me call her the speaker. Senior. So many of the things that stood out for me stood out for her. So she has expressed everything. But even the ladder of success also stood out for her, where there was struggling, stability, success, and being a significant person. So there is a process. So as it was portrayed here by the speaker, the ladder of success starts with struggling. You have to go under some struggle before you go to the next step. Like we always start our journeys of life. Then there was stability. There is a point of life that you reach and you get some stability. And then there was success, and then being a significant person to the society. You have to be significant of your success. Cindy, I think.
Thank you. Let's give them a clap.
If I could add something, another thing that also stood out for the both of us was when we were talking about what enables changes in us. What enables change in us? Things like self-control, things like free will, things like the conscious mind, creative imagination. And that was really important because it made us to be in this state of, constant self-awareness. If I do this, this might happen. The fact that I am very cautious about something, it means that I do realize that something is wrong or right. Thank you.
Next. Yeah.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Call me Frederick. Frederick. Yes, what stood out for her was how to do the behavioral change. For example, I think here somebody said that for you to have a success or have a good behavior, you have to inject yourself with vitamin N. So what is this vitamin N that you need to inject yourself with? Is to learn on how to say no. You stand firm. If it is no, let it be no. So that is what is called vitamin N. So if maybe somebody may be leading you to a wrong direction that may be making your behavior to be negative as required or positive as required, you should learn to say no. Do not be driven by wrong people that you feel that can make you lose direction. So something like your habit, you should know how to, she told me that you should know how to select the good habit and the bad habits and do away with the bad and take the good. Just like here, there are so many stories that are said here, but they are not said that you pick all. Just pick the ones that are helpful to you. Somebody may be saying that you are wasting time, let's continue. That story that teacher is saying, you see the next. That is all.
In case you forgot, what stood out for him was the demonstration about the fun, and then you remember fun and narrow, not fun and narrow. Then he has told me to just have fun and take care of the future. Remember, you have family to take care of. Another issue for university. See you. All right.
Thank you. Yeah, next. Are you? Oh.
Oh, hi. Hello. Okay, my name is Naima, and what stood out for her is you should know your why to go through your house. And also that half of the things that affect us are self-inflicted. Like yesterday when we had the fun, enjoyment, the problems that we said we are going through, half of them come from, like when you, let's say, have fun on Fridays, you spend all your allowance, you end up suffering the whole week, right? Yeah, so that's what stood out for her.
Good morning. Good morning. What stood out for her from her explanation and what I understand is that if someone triggers you, it is up to you to decide how you're going to react to that situation. It is up to you to decide kama kitu mtu ananiambia, I will make nitaichukua kwangu, I will let it affect me, or will I just bypass it like something else and move on with my life. So it doesn't really matter what other people say about you, especially if it is ni kitu inakufanya una feel low. So yeah, good vibes. Good vibes.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Let's give them a clap. We are all learning, eh? Yes.
So, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Abat. So, whatever stood out for her is that it's better to be prepared for an opportunity you don't have than to get an opportunity that you aren't prepared for. This came along when you'd say that hakunanga opportunities, so like wengi wanasema hata degree ina maana, but let me tell you one thing. Hiyo degree ataka unaona kaida kusaidia, it will reach a point yenye you just require it. Okay? Then the other thing is there's a difference between struggling and struggling with a purpose. So one thing maybe I can tell you, if you're struggling and you don't know where you're heading, just choose another struggle with a purpose, okay?
Hi. What stood out for him was that the most the problems we experience in life are self-inflicted, and the way you respond to someone's action determines how the rest, like what will follow, the repercussion, like what will follow after that person has done something wrong or something bad has happened. So your behavior mostly determines how your life will go and how you'll interact with people. Yeah, and that change is inevitable. You either do it willingly or unwillingly, but change is something that you can't escape from. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's give them a clap. Yeah, I hope we have learned. For those who missed yesterday, at least today, you got something that was shared yesterday. So now, you want to share? Okay, let him be the last person because we are almost running out of time.
Yeah, thank you. What stood out for me yesterday was a story narrated by the Daktari of a young guy who went to him to ask for 500. It really gave me a very different perspective of struggle that a student goes through. You know, a student having that 500 shillings and knelt down in tears, it really moved me. And from the topic that we are here, it really gave me, you know, an option to stay safe, so that kikiumana, at least I have somewhere to, you know, withdraw funds. And also behavior change, the forceful behavior change that you talked about, you can either change willingly or forcefully. It really, you know, gave me a different perspective to really go down and change myself, unless I don't want to be changed by the world, because when one changes you, it becomes so cruel and that you may even die in the process. So it really gave me, you know, that perspective to change my behavior. Even in saving, then I need to start and save because all of us want to retire early. Like actually, me, I would really love to retire at 40 so that I can enjoy the beaches of Mombasa and Zanzibar. Thank you.
Thank you. A big clap. Yeah, thank you. Promotion. Okay, so I would like to welcome our Dean. Maybe you can tell us something.
Good morning. I was consulting her name so that I acknowledge her. Thank you, Dorothy.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mora. Mora is an interesting teacher. I'm sure you have noted
Yes.
from yesterday. Cindy, today I will interact with Dorothy just to see whether she can match Mora.
Oh, my, I can't match you.
Mora has to match Dorothy.
Sorry. What happens when Alpha stands here to facilitate? I always take notes. I always learn from him. Actually, I can say I can't match.
Thank you so much.
He's a very gifted man. Yeah.
I acknowledge because I interacted with him in Mombasa, and I saw a special talent in him. And actually, I've been looking for him in my mind to come and impact, but I think it's never too late. So, good morning, students. Good morning. I acknowledge Dorothy, I acknowledge Mora, my governor, who is the host governor, Mr. Peter Nguka. Please greet the other governors. Yeah, my name is Johnson Kidwa, the Dean of Students, University of Nairobi. I love law. I hear Mount Kenya is here. Can you wave? MKU? Yes, you're all here. And then Technical University? The fewest that you are in town. Oh, what happened? They left it. The group. Yeah. And I saw you are dinner around. Why should they leave after the dinner has left? Anyway, good morning once again. This is a good initiative by the Chacha group, the UCSPAK groups. They did a good job during the during, and post-election process, and I'm sure some of you are involved. Cindy, let me see how many were involved during the election campaign. Monitoring. How many? Mukono iju. Watani. Wasita. How was your experience? Yeah?
We learned so much.
You know you are the future commissioner. And what you bring in politics is the one that is going to determine our economic empowerment. So that's why I'm asking that, because that is the foundation. So if you vote in the long government, you also expect the same. But if you vote in the right government, you also expect good things. So I'm sure we voted the right government. Yeah, in Kenya we have had several presidents. The one we had a turmoil during our time as students was the Moi government. From 1978 to 2002. Some of you were not born, except the three in the room. Me, Dorothy, and I. The rest were an idea somewhere in heaven, later downloaded after 1992. So the economy was bad. People were crying. There was poor governance. There was no freedom of expression. If I want to say anything about Moi, you have to look upside just to check if there were spies checking on me. But today we can speak with a lot of freedom, whether I'm talking about President Ruto, President Uhuru, President whatever, without fear or favor. That's the freedom we had in 2002 after Kibaki was sworn in as the third president of the Republic of Kenya. And subsequent governments have upheld that freedom. Uhuru, now Ruto, and I think Kenya has grown. Kibaki took the economy when it was 336 billion annual income. Can you imagine? 336. You know, 336 billion is not enough to power our education sector. How much do we spend on education? Kwani hamjui budget ya Kenya?
Tertiary is about 57 billion.
Tertiary? That is just one. But what about basic education, primary, secondary, TVET? Yote cumulatively ile Machogu anaendesha au Magoha. Hamjui? It's around 480 or 500 billion. Eh? So unaona kama Kibaki angechukua sema hiyo to education, no infrastructure, but he was able to power that and to double that income to around $1 trillion before maybe he left the office. Uhuru came now is around 2 trillion. We expect that 2 trillion to double before Ruto finishes the term to 5 trillion. Are we together? And the way to double that is through the economic empowerment of our students, the hustlers, my fellow hustlers, my fellow and everybody else in this room. Because nobody will ever become rich until you are economically empowered. And our Vision 2030, what does it say? For those who know about Vision 2030. Well, mnasomea wapi? You need to be economic literate for the country before you become economic literate for yourself. Sindio? When that vision, you know, let me go where the history started of economic transformation of Kenya, because we normally say Kibaki is the president of the modern economy of Kenya. The same way in China, there is this man called Deng Xiaoping, which I also want you to read about him. He's the father of modern China. In December 12, 1978, he took over when the economy was run down by Mao from 1949 to 1976. When the Gang of Four wanted to take over China. They fought for 2 years, but 1978, a new king came called Deng Xiaoping. He's the father of modern China. He brought economic structural adjustment program, opening up of China, and China grew. China was more poorer than Kenya that time. Hata Tuju mkutana, we were with him in Beijing during the China-Africa Forum, and he said, unaona big towers. Kulikuwa na tunyumba twa madanje, wale wanaelewa hiyo. Tunyumba twa makuti. Huku wote huku unaona kulikuwa tunyumba na watu walikuwa very poor. But this man opened up for economic investments and all that, and China opened up. Beijing, within 30 years, Beijing, Shanghai, Chadong, all those, they are big cities with isinakaa kama hii GTC kwa hapa, all the Beijing. So we were there enjoying Tuju, akina Macharia when we were signing this expressway, the Ondigeway. And we say it takes a vision of one man to transform the economy. So economy, if you transform, the rest falls into place, political and social. So our vision 2030 states on saying Kenya wants to be prosperous with a middle income by 2030. So we are meaning how many years? Sininane too. But 8 is a long period if we utilize it very well. So in America, everybody is a middle class. You know what's a middle class? Kona gari, senior. Kona job, kona nyumba. Na? Oh, the basic. Na sio basic ya kukula kama nikukula chakula mzuri, sio ya kuinama, sio? So ile ya madazi ngumu na kahawa. Good food. So once we achieve that, ukipata hiyo ingine inaitwa added advantage. So we want everybody by 2030 to be economically empowered. You have a car, it's no longer a luxury. It's a basic need. Sindio? The same way everybody has a phone. Sindio? How many doesn't have a phone? Bera mkona. Si bera mkona. Wangapi hawana simu? Hawana. So I want you to take my word. By 2030, nobody will say I don't have a car. Are we together? Because it's no longer luxury. It's a basic need. Nobody will ever say, I don't have a house, whether it's an apartment or it's jengea, or unalipa mortgage. It's a requirement, it's a basic need. You need any guy to do health, yeah. Health cover that when you give birth, because you are going to start giving birth 2025, 2027. Useme sina pesa kutoka maternity, I don't have the cover. Sindio? You're almost approaching there, sindio? 3, 4, 5. So what we are saying is that this country, 2030, 8 years from now, nobody will be saying I don't have, sindio? Or trying to think that when I graduate, what will I be doing? The job should be waiting for you, sindio? But jobs have to be created. Are we together? The only way to create wealth is through business and other things. And I want you to take my word because I'm still here, strong, living, surviving, and growing stronger. Dini ulituambia kazi mandatory. Usikuje kuniambia sina. Dini ulituambia lazima tupate house. Mimi sina, sitaki kusikia hiyo, si ndio? Ulituambia tukuwe na basic health cover, kutoa our spouse from the hospital. Those basic things should be there. You get the same way you have a smartphone and nobody saying I don't have, because there's a necessity demands that you must have that component. Are we together? So the only way to come is through Joel and Aaron, this economic model which our chief hustler is trying to learn, both at the private level, tertiary level, that let's create jobs. Are we together? Let's create jobs. The person who you are looking towards to give you jobs, created jobs. Are we together? Why don't we create jobs? And that's why in our Dean of Students office we say we want to produce holistic graduates who are future and market ready and also globally competitive. Senior, the jobs can be here in Kenya, in Africa, in Asia, in Canada, everywhere. Right now, Congo, where as we speak now, I know Ruto is leaving today or tomorrow. He left yesterday. Congo is the richest country in the world, not America or China. Are we together? It's not Europe, it's not Canada, it's not Brazil. It's where? If I even get some French kidogo, na Lingala, because which is the biggest trading partner of Kenya today? Uganda. Excellent. Followed by? I wish I had a gift. More. Now, more. The third one, now that you have known.
The third one?
Deputy President took. The third one.
I am tempted to say that.
It's not Congo.
It's
UK.
Oh.
It's UK. But we want to change that now to bring in Congo. After Congo, we want Congo to overtake Tanzania and finally becomes #1 trading partner because they have a lot of minerals. The whole country from the border of Namibia and Zimbabwe all the way to Central African Republic, na Chad. Inakaa kama nini? Inakaa kama, no, in terms of richness, which is the richest part here, Rift Valley. Full forest, late forest. It lays January 1 to December 31st. Mount Elgon, can you imagine having such kind of a land? 24/7, 365. What can you not do? Then they have the largest river. I think Inga River. EU has given African Union around 13 trillion Kenyan shillings to build Inga Dam. Inga Dam is going to produce about 44,000 megawatts, if I'm not. It is bigger than the Three Forks gorges in China, which powers the whole of China. Are we together? So if we have that dam, 44, is it gigawatts? Every part of this Africa, from Senegal, from Egypt, South Africa, Kenya, will be powered by one single whatever. Hakuna power outages. Then we are talking of poverty in Africa. Which poverty do we have? is the poverty of mind. If we see that possibility and make our mind elastic enough to see the possibility, you know you are more than a conqueror. And as I went, Kenya is looked in a different context. If you go to Nigeria, every person will tell you, Oga, I want to come to Kenya. You get it? If you go to Ghana, they will tell you, Oga, I want to come to Kenya. Senegal, the same. Eritrea, South Sudan, they all want to come. What is it that they are looking for? We don't have minerals. We don't have what? What are they seeing in us? Ni nyinyi tu mnaona machida. Watu huko hizo wanaona opportunities. Yeah, exactly. Why you have good human capital planes? Are we together? The other one, you have very stable democracy. Hii ya kurushiana maneno doro. It's a very healthy democracy. Not any country you go that you are given the freedom to insult your president. Good to sleep. And good to sleep. It's a very good thing. Are we together? The infrastructure is good. Right now, if I want to go to Mombasa, I just go to my phone, book Jumbo Share, Mombasa. In the afternoon, I eat lunch there. In the evening, I eat dinner here. In other places, Nigeria, of all the countries, you will get stressed. And I told someone, even if you give me 10 million Kenya shillings salary to work in Lagos, I will not work. 10 million. It is so stressful. Are you together? So, you are so lucky, guys. I'm just telling you, you have the best opportunity. But let's elast our mind. We expand our mind. In the management, we agreed, Guka, that we used to call courses called common courses, communication skills, HIV/AIDS. Yeah? Science and technology. Science and technology. Was it science and technology? Yeah.
Critical and creative thinking.
You know which university? Yeah. These are the ones we are looking for. Critical entrepreneurship. TUK. I don't scare you away. The TUK looks more modern, That is in the year 1990 when there was a structural adjustment program. So somebody from UA? Communication skills. Communication skills, yeah.
Computer and technology.
Computer, but not modern computers. Ingine gani?
Science and technology.
Science and tech, HIV. They are called common courses whether you are doing medicine or BCUC, Board of Common Undergraduate School. So we have decided we suspend, but what the Dean of Students has requested is that we engineer them, and we offer them like what this MOOC, Massive Open Online, Coursera. There are those courses you go online, you do a course and you are certified. So we are going to mount those courses in a more civilized way. You will get hours that you have to study. Once you are certified and examined, you'll be certified. By the time you graduate, you will have done the 4 units. You can distribute them between, Bella is telling me time is up. Thank you. You know I'm a preacher, so I can preach the whole day. So, and the courses we are launching are practical. Are we together? COU HIV just to pass the exam. Or communication, it has to be communication according to 21st century skill. It has to be entrepreneurship according to the realities of the day. It has to be science and technology according to digital literacy of the 21st century. And I'm sure we'll be coming to you maybe by the time you come in January. You will launch your program online, learn, sometimes physical, branded. And once you graduate, the Dean of Students, in partnership with the academic registrar and the DVC, will issue that certificate. And by the time you are graduating, you say, I've done 4 common courses on this and this and this, and it will help you in life skills. Sioni machache tuachie hapo. So I wish you well in your economic empowerment, and tumekubaliana vision 2030. Sitaki kusikia mtu ana gari, ana nyumba, hana insurance, hana watoto. have to go to Congo. Sindio, how many are going with me to DRC Congo? In the next trip, I've told the chief hustler to carry me along, to see how we can explore that big economy for the sake of our country. Sindio, thank you very much. Na Mungu awabariki. Asante sana.
Thank you so much. In Africa, watu wa hiyo wenu wanaweza fikiria tu is your deal. If you dig deeper, it transcends UON. While in Mombasa Island, yeye ni Dean Africa. In other words, kuna hizo institution within Africa that is also, and he promised that when he's made the VC, he'll give me an honorary degree. Thank you.
He's not looking, he's only reminding.
Bella, what's the time? So that we know when we are coming back. 10:51. So if you had for us to have half an hour, when should we come back? 11:20. Okay, so we'll go for tea break. 11:20, we come back. Then we proceed from.
My name is George Kamau Watetu, and before I even start presenting all this to us, I want to take this chance and appreciate Group 1. You guys did a nice job yesterday. That was amazing, and it also led us to a very... Are you using the... Yes. Some of us are maybe. Oh, right.
Draw it closer.
I can always... Okay, it's fine here. All right. So you guys did a very nice presentation, and it led us to a very good debate, and we really appreciate for that. Any Group 2 member who is here today? Group 2 members, you can just stand where you are. It's good that these people get to see the brains behind all this, and so that they can appreciate us, right? So you can see this is the team that came up with this, and have a wonderful seat, and make sure you enjoy it. What do young people value nowadays? It's quite a very direct question. We didn't struggle writing these things here, because one, it's what. Secondly, I'm a young person, and the key word here is value, not those days, but the days that I'm living, so nowadays. I hope I've defined the question. And for those ones that have, they are probably slow in learning. So that is our question. And now, the things, one of them was, well, we didn't follow hierarchy of them. So as they are arranged like this, it is not in the hierarchy of value, so that you would easily assume that money is the most obvious. We just listed them like that, and therefore I'm just going to discuss them the way they are. One of them was money. And one thing that we discovered is that young people, the one thing that they value nowadays so much is how to use money, how to get it, and sometimes even just how to have it without probably using the right method of getting it. Sometimes we just want to have money, whether we have needs or not, we just want to have money around, right? So in some items like this one, you'll allow me not to go deeper, because I'm not an economic student, but I'm definitely sure you guys know about money, right? And this is the one thing that the Bible warns us about. The Bible says that this is the root of what? Is the root of? Prosperity. Yeah, so yeah, group one members are very ambitious, and that's a good thing. So we are warned about this, because if we do not have a good knowledge of this, then everything else become a mess. And let me just tell you guys, you all know the rich people who are really going through a lot of troubles because of this. Another thing that we discuss about is the image, publicity. Who do I want people to know? Who do I want people to say I am? And I remember yesterday, Group 1 talked about something to do with,
hiding behind the social media, where what people know about you and what exactly you are, two different things. And I'm sure you guys, when someone texted you and you looked at their DP, you really wanted to see them, right? And this is for us men, right? And then what you met and the person you met and what you had seen, two different people, right? And probably they went to some apps and they added some of the things they are not blessed with, and maybe by the time you looked at them, two different people, and that has brought a lot of disappointment, right? There are people who have also used some of the chemicals and they end up having several colors within the same body. So, and all this is to try and create a certain picture or a certain image to the public. And there are also other social media platforms like TikTok. You see people, there are those many other apps that have been introduced to make things look different, not exactly the way they are. So tunateseka kwa ground, but pale social media sisi wote mambo inaenda, si ndio? I saw a cavan, there's a kaka that was brought na watu wa Red Bull. Sijui ni Red Bull hao. Ilikuwa pale Taifa Hall nje. It's a sport car. Then you could see someone ameomba tunazitanga digaga. Hizi sunglasses kali tu, maybe ameenda akatafuta hadi posture akakaa hivi and then akapiga, maybe so ushakuwa watu wako zile za huyo msema mambo yake inaenda, he's making it, but in real sense it's something you just went around, you took a picture, but generally you are the same way you came from home. So image and all that, it's something that we really value so much. Another thing that we talk about is, and this one I don't take much time on it because it's close to this, popularity. We just want to be famous, to be known by everyone, right? Yes, I just want to take much time so that everyone can know my name is Wateto and George, so that Sanane, all of you would want to say my name, right? So it's the popularity and of course validation, all these things are the things we just want to do so that at least we get to be known. Sometimes it's not for any good reason, but we just feel like there are people who are known of our age, they are so famous, so we want to relate to that, and we end up doing maybe things extra to get that. We had the word fun, but we scrapped it off because it was so general, and then we decided to go with drugs. And people value this so much because maybe they feel that this brings a different feeling, right? There are people that I saw and I heard, the guys who are using drugs are not mad people. Drugs nowadays, it's being even used with the most normal people. You get? I saw someone akisema nikitumia tu hii sasa manze ile nitaenda nikave topic ine za med. You know? So mtu mwenye anaitumia hii inakuja nikaa kiplani ni kama ndio inakusaidia. Sijui kama inasaidia mtu kuelewa kitu moa ama inakusaidia kupasavia for long. Especially for those that maybe wana translate pale EDD, watu wa EDD medicine. I don't know if it's in TUK and other campuses. Do you guys in other campuses, do you use drugs?
No.
You don't use drugs? No, it's also good you're here so that you can support some of us, right? So drugs, it's a real issue, and people sometimes, some of the young people who use drugs, they are not doing it because they are either addicted or it is a necessity or something. They are doing it because they are in a certain circle where everyone is doing it. I remember when I was in first year and I just joined university, and I didn't know how crazy universities are. So I got here and then there were some guys it was a political season and guys were trying to buy people everything. So nikaambiwa, comrade, shikilia, so nikashikilia. Trust me, that was the saddest day of my life. I'm born again, by the way. So I carried 220-liter, how should I call them? Bottles of Moratina, alcohol. From one point, I was so tired, I thought it is something else. By the way, Mungu anataka kuona ni nini. Kufika huko hivyo naona watu to cups, to party cups. Kila mtu ameshikilia. Of course, mimi nikakuja nikapatilio kikombe yangu nikaishikilia hivi. So vile ilianza kusavio ndio nikaanza kuona na hapa mambo yenu. Unajua mko wengi. So you can imagine unaanza kujitoa hivi pole pole. Maybe not so many people will do that, right? So kuna mwingine mwenye tu heri ukujange sura lakini tu hiyo kitu iende utadilingi nayo baadaye. So many people do drugs because they found themselves in an environment where everyone was using drugs and so they chose to use it because it's something that they felt the group was really valuing it so much. Freedom. I don't care how I do the things the way I want to do them. I don't care what you will say, what you will see. It's my life, right? And yesterday we were told about a situation where people want to dress the way they want to dress, and because who cares? Of course, will I really care? In fact, it's the care that kills. You don't care. You don't want even to care, right? You just want to look at people and you're like, especially here in town, utapita you pata mtu wako the way they are, that one doesn't. I'm sure it is something you don't want to look at it twice, but also you're like, I don't care as long as we don't relate. Siko sawa? So this is something that young people really value so much, and it's not only in dressing. It goes all the way to other things, like we want to attend classes the way we want to do things the way we want. In fact, no one wants to be guided by a certain thing, right? Even right now, if we were given a choice to be choosing when we want to go for meals, trust you me right now, niulize tu by the way, how many people want us to go for lunch in the next 30 minutes? I'm sure a good number of us, we don't want to follow programs. That's why we are really struggling with it. And by the way, from yesterday, even today, by the way, yesterday I thought we order food, people will be here 7 a.m. to wait for programs. And then I got here and guys were not here until I was just like, ama ni mimi food ili appeal kwangu solo. So I realized that we don't want to do something just the way it is supposed to be done. And most of the time it is all of us, right? It is something that it's also there and we really value. Of course, our status, who we are, what we want other people to see, and combine this with all this. Love. When we were in this talk, when we were here, we said we just want to feel loved. Mm-hmm. It's something we want. We just want to feel, I'm that special person. And by the way, not being loved has made people do all these other things. Just this one. Like you are okay with everything, you are managing your money, your finances so well. You didn't care about your image, you didn't care about everything until someone denied you this one. And now you wanted to prove to, but the funny thing enough, I've also seen, but it's only in Kenya where our memes directly speaks about our lifestyle in a way that it's kind of hiding. I saw someone, you've all seen this clip of Jugush in a hotel trying to ask for something expensive just because the ex she's seated somewhere there. How many people have made on a clip before? Yeah, so you realize that when this isn't there, you're likely to be in a situation where you want to do things desperately, right? And I'm sure some of us are the victims, that way we don't want to say yes, but it's okay guys, I got you. It's fine. So this is something that we value so much, and the other one is so obvious. Food. If you guys eliminate the factor of food, trust me, persevering between 9 and until 4 p.m., that will be almost impossible, right? And the only thing in I want to be in this session is the hope that one will definitely come. So that hope that at one, whether the sessions will be so long, I'm sure one itafika too. And I can't wait for Bella to say time out. I just want to be next to her so that at the time is up, I know there's something. Because I've realized every end of this program we are eating, right? Is there any program we have to pull?
Kila break kuna food.
Every kila break. Maybe jana sikuwa na expect ya 4. F1 jana nikapata kuna hadi smokies. For the guys who just came in today, food is there. So if you are coming in today for the first time, don't worry, at least you have a program. Then the next thing, which is sex, is something we value so much. In fact, it has even gotten to a point of we don't even care where we are getting it from. You don't want even to care with who. You don't want to care with where, how. The only thing we know is that as long as it is sex, we are good to go. And it is funny, we value it so much that you go to a place, literally you are going to do something else, and then mkafika huko mkagundua, oh, we are so many, and some other things can be added to be part of this party. You realize? So you are not even mentally prepared, but they always say that you're always ready. So there's nothing, there's no any practice or something specific you need to do to be a good student in this class. All it does need to be is you being present, right? So it is something that we value so much, and sometimes it has cost us a lot, right? People have slept in the wrong places simply because of this. People have been killed because of this. People have, it is something that we value so much that we sacrifice so much for it, right? So I know someone will shed lights more on it as we proceed. Music. Music, it is something we value so much. Which, in fact, you get to a stage where you want to board a matatu, but the silent ones, you're just like, no, I don't want to do that. Nataka kitu itanistua hadi mimi nifike. Like, we always feel like the more it's banging on your ears, it's you feeling alive. You don't want to be in a place where it's like you guys are dying. You know, niku silent, so people want to be in a place where there's music. It makes you feel alive, makes you feel like, and sometimes ushaikuta mahali mtu mwenye anatoa lyrics tu na hakuna wimbo. It makes them feel like a superhero, you know. Oh yeah, that thing, man. Already, they're almost trying becoming exactly that. So, this is something we value much. And of course, we had to add there entertainment because it goes all the way to movies and other things that we watch. We were actually told yesterday that sometimes you will really struggle reading, but you'll easily find yourself in the morning around 6 trying to follow up on a series, right? There's a series nakumbuka iliwahi toka. I don't want to say the name of that series here. Yes, but it used to be for the lovers of Money Heist, right? So this series ingetoka hata ka episode kamoja. During my time, I've been in this world for that long that we didn't used to have maybe technology that you guys have right now. So we will go and use those, we used to call them, are they called discs? So those discs we could go and download movies and put them there. You guys nowadays use what? Netflix. I saw that thing in my phone. There's social circles. This is the groupings we are in. And this is something that is so powerful that I've even realized even today. Tukitoka hapa kwenda food, you just want to be with around people that una feel vibe inaenda. Ukiona mzee ako serious kama photographer, yaje adili. You don't want to be close to him. It's too serious. Engineering wanataka to discuss serious things in life. Let them go down there. The most coolest place we want to discuss their own things. The rest of us want to be in a place where you want to feel alive every moment. Tunakaa hapa mbele karibu na hii stuff ya kusava. So you realize that we value this social circle so much to a point we don't even struggle fitting in any. Because automatically you feel you're part of it, right? And we've gone to a point of people have made they have made so many mistakes trying to fit in a group. You can imagine if you thought a certain group you will fit in, only to realize that the things that they are talking about, you can't relate. For example, when I came from the slums of Eldoret, Langas, and then I got here, and then you go in a group and guys are like, they are talking about characters of these famous movies. And the only thing you follow on is Zora Citizen. So, you hear guys talking of the professor, and you're like, who is that guy again? You know? So you want to be in that group, but whatever the content of their conversation, you can't fit in. So people have ended up sacrificing their life. I don't know anything, but I want to be in this group. So we thought that is something that we value nowadays. Instant gratification. I just want, this one somehow relates to sex down there, sometimes we just feel we want to feel satisfied at an instant and we don't want to think about anything else and the process and all that. So in this instant gratification, it's like you want something that will automatically, there and there, satisfy you, right? Something that will just give you that fulfillment, like there and there. Young people don't want to enjoy the process. They don't want to follow a certain. We just want something. You know. And that's why if someone was to come here with two options, one, you go work and then be paid in the end month, and then probably on a machine ya kuosha pesa kwa rooms somewhere down here. It's unfortunate that most of us tutakuwa zile za hata kwanza tuoshange hii ni kwa do and then ndarunua vitu zingine zitakuwa zina facilitate nianzange tu kwenda kazi legit, you know. So if given a choice, young people would want to have everything, then we'll be looking for other things pole pole, right? So we just want it instantly. Politics is something that we value so much. In fact, I realize that you can't even create a single policy as a young person. You can't change so much, but something has been triggered in you. Unasimama somewhere among so many people and you shout like this world belongs to you. You know, I don't know, mshaona hadi mizizi zinaanza kutokea kwa shingo. Unasikia mtu comrade, like I saw when I was here second year there, and these guys were so furious about there are no power in some hostels, and then they make it look like if that power isn't brought back, we're going to kill everyone. You know, so they value this so much to a point of people will do so much. You've seen guys risking their life. Mtu tear gas imerushwa, unatafuta. I saw guys wamebeba maji. You know exactly what will happen, but you're also prepared for the worst. You get? So mtu anachupa hapa, and then you're going to the worst. In fact, if the police are coming from that direction, you want to face them, right? So this is how deep and how much we value politics. And away, of course, from the school politics and all that, there's something to do with our national politics. Some of us, it really took much of our time because you want to know who will win. At some point, there are those small barazas at home, you want to be part of them. Pale kwenye mheshimiwa anataka kupeana pesa distributio, you feel like you're the campus guy in the home, and so you're smart than everyone else. You are the one to take the bunch, and then unagawia wengine. So unakuwa kama mse fulani mwenye anatumiwa kama tunaitangaje brokers, and that makes politics an amazing. In fact, there are people who wanaweza ku strategize kuhusu 2027. So I met some youth pale wakiniambia Jinjo, next time to strategize. This time tulianguka kiasi tu, but tutafanya strategize. For the next 5 years, say bado wako hapa. Wanangoja tu ile siku yenye itaanza tena waanze ku strategize, and they never quit. Of course, another thing is education, and in this I'm sure all of you will be like, really? Do we really value education? Trust you me, it gets to a point we just want to finish, right? How many people want to finish school? How many want to finish school? So we brought this point there because I realized that, of course, there are those days that you didn't want anything to do with schooling, and then it got to a point you realize, I just want to finish and grab all other opportunities in the world, right? So, and this is something that appeals to all of us. So I don't have to discuss this point so much, because even if you're a slow learner, you are part of this. You are a student, and that's all. And I'm sure you want to be done with this. Our spirituality, and that's why manzo unapata kuna mtu mwenye ni mlevi amegongwa na alikuwa vita akapigwa na chupa mpasuka, hayaziongea vizuri, but unasikia manzo ni God tu, ni God. You know, even in our worst situation, we want to relate to something supernatural, something bigger than ourselves, right? And this is something that we value so much. Unakutanga, there's someone mwenye in their, immediately they use drugs, wanakuwa more of, they just want to talk of how amazing God is. Kuna wengine when they are wakikutana, you'll always find that even in the process of doing wrong, mwingine wanasikia tu manzi hata huwezi amini ujui kuna God, kitu kama hiyo, right? So in the process, especially you always see this when someone is about to do something wrong. Even if they are not born again or something, they do not subscribe to a certain belief, you'll always realize that there's something. Hata wale wana believe in nature. Kuna wale wa mother nature. kuna wale watu wa sulfur au sulfur ilibombard and then all that. So they want to believe in something that is bigger than themselves. Mental health. The group yesterday, they talked about this, and I'm sure they may mention this one, and I saw some of you are like, oh yeah. So, so many things that we do, they end up leading to a crisis here, right? And therefore it becomes something that we talk about it so much, we value it because everything else in a young person's life leads to crisis in the mental health, right? And therefore it is something that we just want to talk about it every day. There are many people who believe in their life, they just want to mention about this. They want to be the ones who want to make it be aware to everyone else so that I don't know the best way to handle this. But before I finish, any member of my group? Yeah.
I can add on that point of mental health. It's something that young people nowadays value so much because when you compare to older generations, like for example, if I tell my mom today I am depressed, she's like, what is that? When you start telling them you have a mental illness, they think, oh, mtoto wangu ina mathare, oh, she'll be locked up, oh, she needs drugs za ninio. But in real sense, when you come to realize the fact that statistics show 1 out of 4 people have a mental challenge, like a mental illness, depression, anxiety, ADHD, OCD. So like for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th person has a mental illness, whether they know or they don't know. And I feel like at this point in time, more and more young people are starting to address this thing. The Gen Z are really big. Us, the Gen Z, we are really big on mental health, and we are really trying to push out the awareness even to companies to have like those dockets that deal specifically with issues to do with mental health. And yeah, I really feel we can continue putting it out there. Awareness is really important on mental health.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you can appreciate that. It's just not from any other group. You know that? You guys know that? She's just not from any other group. She's from the group which I come from. So it's important to appreciate her. The rest of them, the remaining 4 members of my group, I just want all of you to, I don't want to take this credit alone. It is something we did, all of us. In fact, if I gave a point, maybe it was 1 or 2. It is something that we did as a group. So if you are there, I want us to finish it together. So I want you, wherever you are, with a lot of love in your heart, and the goodness of Jisort empowerment and all that, I'm sure you love this thing. And of course, with the motivation of food, kindly guys, just join me so that we finish the remaining 3 together. It would be amazing if someone else was to discuss about the environment, technology, employment, and family. So members of my group, quickly, so that we do this together and allow Peter to take us to the remaining. So you could just join us here because there's also photos. It's good that you get to be seen with this thing. Make it look like more brighter, you know. Everyone just get down close to this. Is it a white book? I don't know exactly what it is, but yeah, I can't still see some of our members. Is he in my group? But that's important. I think it's very important to be part of this. I don't want to do it alone, but it's good now that we will take at least this time because we've covered most of them. So this was the amazing group, and by the grace of God, we were able to cover all this. So I don't know who is going to take us through environment. One of us who wants to talk about that. How does, as young people, how do we value environment to a point we've given it a slot on the top 20s of one of the things that we value most. So if you are here, one of my group, all of us are brilliant. That's why you see they don't want just to do it randomly. They want me to point one of them, but I don't want to do that. That's kind of ghetto, you know. So anyone of you who has maybe not terminologies kubwa, the ones that they can understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we chose environment as one of the things that young people value nowadays because, as you can see, around the world, I think it was last month, Pakistan was in floods and people lost their houses. Watu mtoto wake amekufa watu wamebebwa na maji, and it's becoming a real concern. Climate change is becoming a real concern, and you find that young people nowadays are taking easy environment clubs. They're forming groups to ensure, like Naima, for example, I know she works for YJK.
I'm the vice president.
Like you find her with wraps of papers. Hata hizi unaweza kutoto ameweka kwa bag and she has a bag full of trash tukienda nyumbani so that she can dispose it properly, and it is really inspiring, and young people, a lot of young people are really taking action on environment and climate change.
And it's something that we just want to talk about, right? You'll always hear people say of it's hot in a specific place, it's maybe green in a specific place. I was also talking about it before we came in. Also, our dean, Dinaf.
We found a way with Spotify to share hizi vitu zote pamoja, yeah? And it also gets to recommend us a song that we, based on our previous listening to. So, yeah, we don't have to go look for another song. This AI, this algorithm, to recommend another song that maybe we like, yeah? So we're always looking for what's the simplest thing, yeah? How can we make this thing better? That's tech and innovation. Who doesn't want to attend a big tech event, with those super IT guys? Who doesn't want that? We all want, yeah?
People are discussing of things in the space out there and everything. But also the most important thing here is, have you ever talked of something that you would want to buy and then it was brought to you like a notification? Maybe on your phone you talk of, I would want to buy a Bugatti, and then in your Googling, something like that. Has someone experienced that before?
Yeah.
Technology is becoming, it's been improved to a point of, there are sensors, there are things that can even listen to you, to whatever you're talking around. By the way, you realize that we are always being monitored, but because they have like given us an assurance that whatever we do, it is safe, so we're always okay with that. That's why we mention things roughly and we assume that our phones can never hear. But then everything you talk about, and that's why most of the things that you do, unakutana hasa hizo ndio, even the sites you go, you visit, most likely those are the kind of the things zinaanza kuja. Kuna watu wenye hata screen yao zitaka iwake mbele ya watu wengi. Hivi tu vile yangu imewaka because notifications zenye zinakuja hapa hivi mingi. Because your phone is always listening to the things that you want, right? So it makes your works easier. Why struggle? And there's a new, the most latest movie or whatever you watch is out. So anakuandikia tu hapo, hey, it's out, right? So that is technology, and it's something that we value so much to a point of we want to sacrifice everything else for tech. In fact, people want better phones, people want better apps and all that to do that. So the other thing, we're almost there, guys, only left with two. The last one, and we have employment. Who among us wants to talk about employment? Yeah, you can do that. Two of you can do that.
So I go first. About employment, I mean we are here because after education we want to be employed, whether self-employment, whether to be employed in a company. Basically, we want to be employed so that we can get something in return, whether money, pride, not self-actualization actually, but self-worth. We want to be somewhere to do something which you are proud of, that is, because basically all about education is where you are going to be in future.
Yeah, so just add.
But like we are convinced that once you're employed, once you have a good job, you have security, like in the future, outside. Yeah, but in this sense, like at people tunafikiria employment sana, tunafaa tuko tunafikiria like how can you be better, how can you like unaweza kuwa entrepreneur, unaweza jimekea your own money, wewe ndio unaweza kuwa employer. So like naweza taka tu tukue na mentality that like in the future hadi ukisha graduate hiyo knowledge utakuwa umepata utumie kujiendeleza.
Yeah.
So, still on employment, many of us, like right now, I'm sure, many of us don't want to do the 5 to 6 job. Ama kuna mtu wa 5 to 6 anataka 5 to 6. No one wants that, yeah? So you want to go to work when we want to, right? And we have the freedom to do that. Sindio? Unataka ile job yenye, I go to work when I want. Sindio? Hapana kwenda 5 to 6, kwenda kujibu emails and, you know, stuff. I think that's what I wanted to add.
And of course in employment, what were network? I think sitauliza network yetu hapa because if I was to do that, that will bring a crisis here. So, but I'm sure it's a good one. It has to have an, hata kama ni 0.00 something, huko mwisho itakuwa to M, right? So, but the thing with employment is that it has gotten to a point young people, wangapi washaulizwa manze unaweza tafutia anything to do. Mi bora tu naleta do. How many people wameulizwa with their friends that it is something that sometimes let us not assume hizi vitu haziko ziko. So young people have gotten to a point they just want to do anything, right? And that's why yesterday tuliambiwa, unaambiwa kuna kazi Qatar, this is the amount of money, na bedho unaambiwa all you just need to do, you need to be there. You need to be physically alive and present. And then we don't even want to care what we're exactly going to do. Therefore, just the factor of there's an employment being provided, we're always in to want to try, right? So, and that one, I'm sure Natwita will talk about it. Family. I'm sure all these guys are my family, so we are so good with this topic. Anyone wants to talk about it?
Okay.
Yes.
Our family, it was family stroke parents. Okay, most of us don't have our own families. That's why we tuliandika stroke parents. Like what yesterday alikuwa anasema anatumia wazazi wake pesa. So like, who doesn't value their family? They're the ones who provide for us. They're the ones wametulelesha.
Watu sawa. Mashenge tem.
Wametulea hadi mahali tumefika, and we just have, hata tukipata employment later, we have to give back to them, whether kuwatumia pesa, whatever they need. Yeah, just providing for them. That's all about family and parenting. So kama you value family yako, please, you need to do something. Yeah.
Any other person who wants to family, and by that's why most people in our goals. My first goal is I want to, when I'm done with this and the Lord blesses me, I want to build my mom house. You know, it is something that is always there. So you always put them somewhere. You really value them. Young people, by the way, you'll always hear in a week, someone will always say, by the way, my mom called or my brother called. We will always want to mention them somewhere, right? Even if not in a lengthy way, but we'll always at some point mention them. And therefore, it is something that we value so much nowadays. Of course, there are those ones that are ignorant about that, but a good number of the youth really value where they come from and their siblings and all that. So with all that, are we guys satisfied? We okay? We good?
Yes.
Nice. So I'm sure it's also wrong to give you so much. You may not be able to take all that. So allow us to stop.
Wako wapi hao? Sasa tutapea nani? Haya, tuwapatie. Thank you very much. Quite elaborate, sio? Maybe we need to ask ourselves, or ask myself, why am I talking about value? Why should we talk about value and young people? Before we start looking at some of them, let's get this. Kwanza hapo unaweza sema value is everything. Why? Because my value or what I value influences my choices. I don't make choices hivi tu. All the choices I make, they're influenced by what I value. They influence my choices. And it doesn't end there. My choices affect my behavior. And my behavior doesn't end there. Impacts on my character. And finally, my character determines my destiny. Destiny ndio ukingo. Ukingo au mwisho. Unanielewa? How it will end. My watch movie. Wangapi watch movie? Ile favorite movie you watch recently gani?
Purple Heart.
You will talk about movie to see. But we'll always tell how it will end even before it starts. Ni kwamba tu we are glued. So why I'm talking on why we should talk about our values. You can tell how my life is going to end based on this. Now, there are values as principles and there are values as item or objects. We need to differentiate those two. Maadili kwa Kiswahili ndio value, sio? Na kuna ile value ya dhamana. Mnanipata? Mimi sio mfasaha sana Kiswahili, lakini kwa sababu Kiswahili ni lugha ya taifa, najaribu sana. Kwamba ninaposema vijana wanadhamini nini siku hizi, very quick mawazo yao will go into objects or items, just like what you see here. This is very good. While I was seated there, nilijiuliza, did this come as an afterthought or that's how it is? And I said that's how it is. If you look at number 1 to number 14 and you begin analyzing, utajiambia hii ilikuja kama zetu andike education. Unajua sasa education hiyo ndio sababu tuko, sio? Wakakataa wakasema story na God nayo itakuaje? Let me tell you, even if you take this to your schools or different schools and you mobilize majamaa pale waambie vijana siku hizi wanadhamini nini, you will not be surprised. Ile nimeshangaa tu ni vile hii imekuja number 9. In most cases huwa ni inakuwa top 5 hapa. Utaikuta hapa inachezea top 5, top 6. But I'm not surprised that you are saying if you take young people today, you become an observer. They are saying they value money. Just ask your neighbor, what are some of the things you see them do that tells you they value money? What are some of the things you see young people do as an indication kwa wenyewe these people really value money? Tumesikia betting, tumesikia mnyongolo. Oh, begging.
This profession of begging.
In a diplomatic way. You know, I remember by the way I was also brought up in Langa. Where was Langa? Went to Panama. Went to Sumundogo. Sawa, Cherunyama. Okay, sawa. Napita hapo nikienda shule Kima. Anyhow, I remember after high school kulikuwa na kitu inaitwa jam session. Jam session every Sunday from. So unakuta young man have a very good style of begging. Kwani niaje? Mazee nimebakishiwa tu na kiinde peke yake na niingie. Naweza mjazia? Kumbe hana kitu. Unampea kiinde unadhania na kiinde is tempo unadhania atakufuata ndani. Sema nakaa na ngoja mwingine. Niaje? Kiinde tu. So mzee atachanga tempo ajikute amejaza kibaba. So young people beg. Okay, begging as a way. So kuna begging, kunyonga watu, begging. Masponyo. Unapata jize.
Jimama.
Hapa maboys. Okay, so that's a sign that they value money. So if you are to take that down this trip, a person who really values money, what choices is he likely to do? He's willing to go all the way as long as whatever he wants to undertake will bring him money. Kuna wengine hata wameuza viungo vya mwili. Sio? Kidole nilikuwa nasikia Zimbabwe kumaliza. Ati kidole moja ni. You heard about that? Was it real? Na Kenya wakauliza nikiuza hii is on. Yeah. There are people who do go to a great length of even killing their own relatives or parents. Mzae anakaa hapa shamba baki. Nijue vile nitauza. Once I take your action, how is he going to behave? He has got the money now. Umeshika jibaba, sio? Umeshika jimama. So the next thing ni kukunywa. Yeye anakuwa mtu wa kukunywa, yeye ananywewa. And then that becomes your character. In fact, to some extent, people tend to attach you with that behavior. They even forget your name. Unatafuta Alphonse yupi? Yule mwanyaji. Waisikia? Tafuta John yupi? Kalewa. John Babetting. Are you seeing? So that behavior has become, part of you, and people are easily able to identify you with that one. How will it end? Unasikia kwamba ni bwana ama ni bibi watu ni sumu. Bibi yenyewe is a no-go zone. And things have happened here in Nairobi. Jamaa amekatakata dem into pieces, akaweka kwa suitcase. Yeah, it has happened. Akaweka kwa suitcase, akafunika vizuri, na akaweka note hapo. Bwana ya wenyewe ni sumu. Alafu familia wanapelekewa. You think it is something good. There is the other side of it. That ukiangalia, how has money influenced the lives of young people today? As much as we are ambitious and all that, mtu anasema tu hai bwana, kama haina do haileti. Huko tunaenda watapeana allowance. Are you getting the thoughts? Jamaa anajiuliza tu ni wapi? Hakuna ka workshop wapi? Fungamano ni wapi? Fungamano ni wapi? Yes, kungapi? The whole week. Anauliza kuna kakitu. Akisikia kuna kakitu atakuja. I'm not saying money. Somebody said that we are cautioned from the Bible. What does the Bible say? It says not money is the root of evil. It says love for. Not that money is good. Money is good. And very good for that matter. If you have money, people will greet you like this. You have come. Have a seat. They will greet you like this. But if you don't have money, even if you have a PhD, wanakwambia pengine hana degree. Are you seeing? Yeah. But now the love of it will influence the choices that I make. Somebody who values drug, the choices is likely to make ni akienda party anauliza what is there, na akiona all the drinks. I remember we took a friend for Rashio, for those who understand Rashio. You understand Rashio? Yes. Dawa ni payment, eh? Mm-hmm. And the people came, and this guy akanunulia watu all sorts, uji, uji, kuna uji, chai iko, bia iko, hii inatokanga kama tap. No, wine, kuna hii wine inakuwa kwa box. Hii inaitwa aje? Fourth Street, 5 liters. Inatoka kama tap. Just and then kuna tulizinga. Ratio. That was a serious ratio. You know, ratio as people go to negotiate, kuna others where you stay outside to be entertained. Sindio? Not everybody goes to negotiate. But now this guy came with a delegation, and the people in the community are also invited. You see people who value alcohol in this matter, how they behave. Kwanza naona watanimalizia wine. Kwanza nakimbia anachukua chupa 2-3 anaweka chini ya meza. Then anang'ang'ana na watu. Anakunywa. Ikiisha anaangalia okay, what next? They don't have moderation, they don't have self-control. It's like a lorry ya bia ikianguka hapo karibu na UON. Na kuna lecture inaendelea. You know there are guys in the room wanakuwa mzaidi. Kwani ajui katrela kameanguka hapo. Kidogo unaona those who value then get out. But at the end of it, utaona this guy will not eat. They're becoming emaciated. The first thing ni kutoa lock. Where he's talking about how BC kuna majamaa wanabeba mizigo, we call them beba. Soko, magunia. In Nairobi hawako. Nairobi ni mikokoteni. If you go to Eldoret, kuna wajamaa gunia nzima ya viazi anawekewa hapa, anahamisha from point to, akishafanya 2 trips, they get to the slum to go and take their beer and then go back. So in other words, what I value has got a big influence on how I am going to earn as an individual. But if you look here, these are values as items or objects. They are values as principles. And I want us to do some exercise. I hope they'll be visible from here. So when young people say they value sex, I'll not touch on this, maybe tomorrow, because kuna nini inakuja. There is a question that we will look at. When young people value status, umesema ndio maana we hide behind social media. Kila mtu ameenda abroad. Sure. And then you want people to, is it to follow or to like? Both, Up to now, I've never known how you check on somebody's status. Walai. My wife keep telling me, will you check his status yangu? Because he needs status yake najua ni ile picha ya mwanzo. So status ni gani? And then I hear after a while they disappear. 24 hours. Then you put another one. So after every 24 hours you have a new status. Ndio watu wanaona huyu jamaa kwa sawa, huyu dema kwa sawa Then mnapeana date. Kutana unauliza yule wala mwenyewe. Hata niko wapi nimesimama hapa Keko. Uko wapi na jamaa kwa the other side ya Mombasa. Hebu wewe nikuone. Jamaa nakaa chuo. Because the image that is on the status is not the real person. Are they visible? What do we do? What do I do? Let's see if we can increase the... How about that? Better? Now this thing says, from this list of values, both work as a person. Select 10 that are most important to you as a guide for how to behave or as a component of valued way of life. Feel free to add any value of your own to the list. So a list is given here, and perhaps you feel there are those that are missing. You are given an opportunity to add. There are things like achievement, friendship, physical challenge, advancement, and promotion, growth, pleasure, adventure, having family, power and authority, affection, helping others, privacy, art, helping society, public service, challenging problem, honesty, purity, change or variety, independence, quality of what I take part in, close relationship, influencing others, quality in relationships, community, inner harmony, recognition or respect from others, status in brackets, competence, integrity, religion, competition, intellectual status, reputation, cooperation, involvement, responsibility and accountability, country, job, tranquility, security, creativity, knowledge, self-respect, decisiveness, leadership, serenity, democracy, location, sophistication, ecological awareness, things to do with environment, loyalty, stability, and the list goes on. Economic security, market position, status, effectiveness, meaningful work, supervising others, efficiency, merit, time, freedom, ethical practice, money, truth, wealth, excellence, nature, excitement, being around people who are open and honest, wisdom, fame, order, in brackets, tranquility, stability, and conformity. Work under pressure, personality, personal development, work with others, financial freedom, and work with the world. Try and choose 10 out of that list. If they are not there, you can pick your own. That for you, that you think, okay, if I'm to talk about my values, 10 of them, these are the ones. So let me give you like 3 minutes to do that. 3 naweza? Okay. Try and pick 10. If there is one that you know it is within you and it's not there, you can add it to your list. Mradi tu zisipite 10. Let them not pass 10. So you have number 1 up to number 10. What you would consider that these are my values as a way of life or as a person. I should have printed this so that kila mtu akuwe na copy. It's easier that way. Finished? Sindio? You have your 10. You're almost there. Class, finito? Not yet. If you are done, how many of us are done? Wangapi tumekwamia mahali? Tumekwama wapi? You are finished. Okay. If we are finished, imagine out of the 10 of your values, you are only allowed 5. Out of the list, bila ku strike off. Hapo tu chini. You know you already have 10. So you only allowed 5. So from your 10 list, which one would you say, these are my first 5? You have 10 in the list. But you are being told, okay, we only allow you to have 5. So from the 10, which one do you say, okay, this is good, but it's not a priority, it's not top 5. Then after chini, you have 1 out of 5, you pick your 5 topmost values. Sio ni rahisi? Tushafanya hivyo? Imagine you only allowed 4. Out of the 5, which one would you knock out? So you have another 1, 2, 3, 4. That's easy. See? You had 10. Out of your 10, you picked top 5. Amongst the top 5, you only allowed 4. No, hapo umeambiwa tunajua hizi 10 zote ni sawa. Lakini katika hizi 10 ni gani utapatia kipaumbele? Uwe na 5. Then naambia okay, at least 4. Si ndio? Si ushafanya hivyo? Imagine you only allowed 3. You are allowed 3. Which one would you say, these are my top 3? As much as 10 are good, but these are my top 3 values. If you look at them deeply, in a way they have influenced on how you operate, on how you go about your life. Sometimes we don't have, but it is a good opportunity for you to look at, okay, what are my values really? What do I stand for? Because it is said, if you have nothing to stand for, you will fall for anything. If there's nothing you can stand for you, anything that comes goes. Now link this with what we are talking about yesterday. What is life like nowadays? What stood out very strongly in the afternoon was that life is hard. Okay? Do you see the connection between what young people value contributing to the hardship of life?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Tuko sawa? Sijana hapa tulisema je maisha ni gori. And we were genuinely right. Okay? When we compare or reflect on what young people value nowadays, do you see anything they value here that adds to the hardship of life you were crying about yesterday? Yes. Please point out one. Drugs. How? How is this adding to the hardship of life?
The drugs are, first of all, you need to pay the debt. That is, it is incurring into the cost of life.
Lazima ubali. Na mulisema nyinyi si watu ya Chrome. Si ndio? Macomrade sio watu ya Chrome. Macomrade ni watu wa you look like hivi tu elewi. You are safe, thank God. Life yesterday.
Image publicity.
Hata hiyo?
Yeah.
Iko wapi na
Number 2.
Hii si nafikiri tu nikupiga ni hii na
Number 2.
Number 2, image.
Yeah. To keep up with the image, you have to incur a lot of cost, and then you forgo important things that you actually need.
Yeah. Are you comfortable with yourself? There is a big challenge with image problem. If you are not comfortable with who you are, it will give you a lot more work. You want to live like, let me show you something. Sijui kama niko na speaker hapa. Niko na speaker lakini sina extension cable. I wanted to show you something that hiyo kitu umesema about image. This lady was born very beautiful. Are we using that for now? The PA. Can we borrow an extension cable from there? And then tutarudisha hii moja tu, si ndio? Ama ita-interfere na system. Prof, are you using it?
No.
Okay.
You can use it. I want to see that lady was beautiful in the beginning.
Yes, and in the end, because of image problem,
hizo si utatuanisha zile zote.
you've said, you always want to keep up to that, and some have backfired. Sure. See, some people have gone to change themselves. Anaona makalio haitoshi, anaenda hizo surgeries, ina backfire, one is bigger than the other. Anashindwa what to do. Some people are not okay with their facial expression, wanaenda liver road, wanafanyiwa hizo mkorogo. They end up being like a leopard. So wamesema different colors within one body. Some people even died in the process. That you are not okay with their breast, you want to enlarge them, so you are undergoing that surgery, and in the process, unakufa. So image adds to the hardship. Practically almost all of this, except maybe education. Sindio? Spiritual makes life hard. How?
Because people have been involved in cultic, dangerous spirituality. You're looking at witness cases of work.
Yes.
You get into spirituality and you get mad.
So those are now the extremes.
You get sacrificed, not mad.
Some people have sacrificed their kings in the name of spirituality. Not religion, but spirituality. Kunaweza hizo za, if you want to sacrifice your son or your daughter or whoever. Kuna mzee alienda kwa pastor kuchukua kuku wenye bibi alipeleka kama sadaka. He was serious. Nimepata namba yake, anaenda kunipea kuku yake. First anaweza ndio nini. So spirituality sometimes makes life hard. Unakuta watu wameenda kesha, and kesha yenyewe is very cold. Children have been, bundled all together. It becomes very difficult.
You take all the money to...
You take all the money to that particular individual. Na wewe mwenyewe huko hauna kitu. Panda mbegu. We've had likes of those ones, sio? Nunua mafuta, panda mbegu, andika chief. Ilikuwa 3310 ama ni 33 what? Akina Kanyari. So really it can make. People talked of mental health as a concern here. I guess you meant you value the health of your mind. Sindio? Because people are really suffering today. Nimesikia 1 out of 4 has got a mental problem. And what causes that? Is there a connection with what we value? Sindio? Sometimes a connection with the hardship of life. Before we run out of time, maybe we can ask group 3 to share. 40 minutes, that's okay. 14? You may fast forward. Okay. Can group 3 come? They present, just read through now that we have 14. Just read through if we have something to ask, we will ask. As I look for Martina, who is presenting on behalf of group 3? Karibu. This one was asking what pressures are put on university students and by who.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I start, I request you all to stand up. We do a small exercise to changamke. You remember the way we clapped yesterday 3 times? Then we patted our... We patted 3 times. Yes. Yes. We patted 3 times. Go ready. We clap 3 times, pat 3 times. 3, 2, 1. Again. last round. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen and others, my name is Shampiana. Tuko pamoja? My name is Shampiana. I'm from the Technical University of Kenya. I'm representing Group 3. And our question is, what pressures are put on university students and by whom? The pressure is getting worse. The pressure is getting worse. Yes. So from this question, there are two parts. First is to identify the pressure and to identify where does the pressure come from, which is the who. Mpaka hapo tuko pamoja. The first pressure is kuinama. Kuinama is now is a slang that we are commonly using to refer to the financial pressures that we have. And some of the the kuinama pressure or the financial pressure is coming from several factors. One, there are inadequate policies by the government. The reason we said inadequate is because we are comparing university students now with university students in 1992. They used to get paid to be in university. They used to have pocket money of about 5,000 shillings then. It's called boom. Boom. Thank you very much for that. That's what it's called. They used to have that support, and it was very good for them because hakuwa na nini? Kuinama. Also about inadequate policies. Imagine if there were policies. I'm sure that we also these policies that was something the education mentioned about withdrawing the funds that are given to universities. I actually support that. You withdraw the funds given to the universities, but you give university students money. Yes or no? Yes. That makes more sense if that is supposed to happen. Another reason for kuinama, we have this policy that us young people have. Sheria. Thank you very much. That celebration is low. You get small money. Unainama kwa sababu the small money that you're getting, you'd want to direct it to the sherehe so that you can YOLO. Another source of this kuinama pressure is the urban problems, the first world problems. There's something we said about this. Billy, thank you very much. You can quickly explain this. Billy is a member of my group.
Good morning, guys. My name is Billy. So my name is Billy, I'm from TUK. When we talked about first world problems or urban problems, we were specifically talking about specifically the students who are here. Because most of us come to school in town. There are problems, like for example, us in TUK, I would say like a good percentage of us, a good percentage of us are not staying in the hostels. We do not have locally available town that offers rents and food prices at student affordable rates. The closest one is South B, and the population there is mostly Arabic communities, and you know those guys splurge cash. You know, when you can't go there and eat something for 50 bob, labda smoky. Now, hiyo inakufanya uiname. So there are some problems that we have. There's specifically universities that are in town we're experiencing. Theft, fare kila siku. Even when we were talking yesterday about that issue about finances, most people, I met some students from the School of Urban Design and the Built Environment. They were submitting their reports, and they were saying that to compile that project, it costs about 400 shillings to print it. Okay? And then we take it to the lecturer, and then he says he doesn't like the font. You have to go fix the font, and then he says you don't have full stops, so you need to go and change it again. These are problems that perhaps parents on honor, you're just trying to use them as cash cows, when really, in fact, ni kuinama.
Thank you very much. Yes, another source for kuinama is the relationship pressure that is usually there. You find that you have someone or your partner you want to spoil them. You sacrifice your breakfast, your lunch, everything just to buy. Just to buy them, you know, basic things that are not really necessary for the survival of that person. Another type of pressure is the academic pressure. Academic pressure mostly comes to those people that have sponsors. If someone is sponsoring you in your education, not the other sponsor. If someone is sponsoring you in your the right sponsors. Thank you very much. If you're having the right sponsors, you won't get sponsored if you continue to fail. No one wants to invest in something that is going down. So you really get pressured by these sponsors. Umeinama, concentrate kwa class, alafu pia sponsor anataka perform. It really becomes very difficult. Another source of pressure is parents. Some source of academic pressure is parents. And parents are coming in where some of us are coming from homes where we are the only hope of the village, not even of that home. And you're really expected to perform highly. If they're coming for your graduation, no one wants to see a pass. They don't want to hear anything else that is not maybe first class or something of the sort. No, in fact, they don't want to hear D's or any other. It's just, you know, A's, kikiumana sana, mabi. Thank you very much. As we said yesterday, some parents really need to be educated on this. But sometimes the pressure is positive because you end up performing really well. Another source of academic pressure is societal expectations. The moment you are in the university, no one expects that you go to the university and you just come out a failure or you've been failed. The fact that you went to that university, it means that you passed to be in that school. It means that you must do well academically. So all these things really affect, all these things really put academic pressure on the comrades. There's also something else you mentioned on academic pressure. Academic pressure can also sometimes, you see the sponsors, the parents and the societal expectations are sometimes the people that cause these sexually transmitted grades that we see, sex for grades and all that, because you don't want to fail. And if there's an option, for some people, if there's an option of, sacrificing their dignity for that, they end up doing it because of the academic pressure. Another type of pressure is relationship pressure. Comrades are lonely. You go to your social media, you go to your...
It's being recorded.
And the pressure is coming from everywhere. You go to your social media, you won't even finish scrolling. About 2 scrolls before you find something related to, relationships, a perfect couple goals, just perfect couples. You remember what group 2 was talking about, love, that everyone wants to be loved. And the pressure is really getting worse. Thank you very much. Another source of peer pressure, relationship pressure, is peer and societal pressure. Do you know that some of us go home and, yes, peer and societal pressure. Some of us are about 22. When you go home and they're like, when you let mtu, when hata tuonani kama kuna mtu wako around, hata simu, hatuoni kujificha. Some of us are really going through these societal pressures, also because of our diverse backgrounds, from some of the places that we come from. By the time you're 22 years old, you're supposed to be having 5 kids and, well married somewhere huko. It even becomes worse when you have academic pressure and you continue to fail. Umeshinda ukiinama sana. And this pressure is really coming to you. You just end up dropping out of school and getting married. Or even, getting comfortable with someone's son or daughter or other. Another source of pressure is the black tax pressure. Black tax pressure is simply you having that guilt within you to want to give back to either your parent or your guardian or simply the one that raised you. Hiyo inaitwa black tax. Mmekuwa mkishangaa it's called black tax. You live at home, you get something small, you send at home to your parents. you want, you know, there's something more that you could have done to improve your life, but you feel the need to want to give back at home. It even becomes worse when your parent is used to you giving back at home. So when you don't, what do they do? Hello? Fulani wa fulani, nani ataenda shule? Umekuwa mtu wa ngumu, umeenda Nairobi ukatusahau, you know, things like that. Nimeita mtu atulimie shamba na sijamlipa, sisters wako wamefukuzwa shule, you are a comrade, you have no job, umeinama, uko na academic pressure, relationship pressure. You know, to just give back to them. Or even if they hear that you have a small job somewhere, they know that they are sorted. For us, comrades, some of our parents see us as retirement plans. That I have invested in this child, so when I'm going to retire, the child is going to give back to me. The other pressure is unemployment uncertainty. This pressure is, I think, is one of the worst of all, because we all go to the university and we all expect to get out employed. But now the pressure usually is coming from, you know, the dependency mindset, educational reforms that are not they don't really increase your chances of getting employed. One of the things that really increase this pressure is you just sit and you get, you know, researches like out of 500,000 students that graduate every year, only 2,000 the market is only able to absorb 200,000. So what happens to these 300,000? And I know the actual statistics is higher of the number of unemployed people. So mengia become mko class ya watu, I don't know, 70, and someone else is telling you, that's now the societal vices. Mbona unafanya hiyo course? Huko utapata kazi, hiyo wezi, hiyo labda uboost na ufanye ama wachana nayo. It's even worse. Imagine a class of 200 people wanachukwanga tu wanne big four. It even becomes worse when some of the lecturers come to class. Let me give this to Peter Mbuka, my group member, to explain this better. Thank you, Peter.
Kuna watu wanafanya PA. Wengine wanaita bachelor of mineral. Bachelor of arts. Mambo sisi kosi yako. BA. Utapata kazi. Kuna kazi ya BA. Like somebody does not even understand the course that you're doing. Na uliitwa tu university, ulikuwa tu innocent. Fanya hiyo course. And you expect to get employed. So somebody gives you statistics that what will be manze, there's no chance for you. Either fanya CPA ama fanya already uko na pressure kufanya hiyo BA yako. Na sijui ufanye CPA, sijui ufanye data analysis, sijui ufanye nini. So there's a lot of pressure.
Yes, you may contribute.
I'm not in group 3, but I want to add this. I have seen like many online applications. They're all asking for 5 years experience, 2 years experience. I mean, where are you getting that after graduating? I think it causes so much pressure. Like if you look at those things, like how am I just coming from university and I already have 5 years experience? I feel like that thing is scary for me.
Thank you very much for
that, because it's one her point.
Yes.
There's someone who, probably the older generation will say, oh, that's why the internships there, even those internships, they are like bottlenecks for you to get the internships, to get the 5 years experience, so that you can get this job that is here that you will not be even be paid now, you know.
Yes, another group of mine.
I want to add on that employment pressure, employment uncertainty. Is that comrade anaweza toka, maybe anatoka mahali anakuja class asubuhi anakimbia. Amefika mahali anasema wacha nichukue bike nikimbizwe. Akipanda hiyo pikipiki mwenye bibi anamuuliza unafanya course gani? BCom. Mwenye anisha bibi anamwambia pia mimi nilifanya BCom.
So there's also something that has come up. It may come up over the recent years. Kwa sababu there has been this, I don't want to say it's a misconception because it's actually true, that employment opportunities are scarce. Okay? So unaambiwa ukiwa class na lecturer wako, mimi ningekuwa nje nikitafuta pesa, but mwalimu, I am here for that purpose. So anakuambia that you have to go outside and look for cash because this is not certain. But yet, your family back there, or even you yourself, have put all your eggs into this one basket. The problem in that, you see, it's not bad telling someone that you need to have a plan B when plan A doesn't work out. The problem is if you do not provide the infrastructures, you do not show them the way. If you don't teach them how to fish, they'll die. Thank you.
Yes, and also on educational reforms, there's a great need of educational reforms being there. And this is because some of us in class are learning things that is to do with technology of 5 years ago. Advancements are happening, the curriculum or the syllabus is not being updated. So you finish school, you graduate, you go to the industry and they tell you go back to school to learn what suits the market that we have. Yes, I'll take one last point from that side. Yes?
That is not a point but a question. Are these problems that we have created for ourselves or are rich problems?
Okay, some of them are problems that we create. For example, the first point has been addressed by collectively group 1 and group 2. Most of the financial pressures come from us. We saw the other time, education became the beneficial thing that people value. In that list came at number 14, which was education. It was mostly provision and enjoyment. But some of them, like for example, I can tell you for Madam Hi. On the third one, the relationship pressure. For guys, time. But for them, they inherently know my time is important. So wakiulizango mbona tunangi nani ama mbona hata hakuna fununu pahali, it's a subtle pressure, it's running in their high brain that they need to, kwa sababu masaa ni strong. So some of the problems ni similar to the but zingine are just there. You can't solve them, you can just manage. Find a way to manage.
I think. Yes, before we take that point, I think that question is very important and it's something that we are going to be asking ourselves all throughout these pressures that have been mentioned here. I think that's the whole point of this thing. Like, is this thing coming from me, coming from us, or is it just something that is beyond us? I'd like us to continue this discussion, but I think it's getting longer. And if it's time for reflection, I think we'll have it when Mr. Alphonse maybe will be taking us through. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Now we come to the mother of all pressures, which is peer pressure. Peer pressure it's coming from peers, it's coming from things we see, it's what really leads us to most of the things that we didn't want to do but yet we found ourselves doing, because either we made it a habit, we couldn't have that self-control, we couldn't have that creative imagination to know how to prevent this. So this one this one comes from anywhere, everywhere and anyhow. Thank you very much. That is it from group 3.
Shukran. Maboko likolo hii. Ibadi malo. Ndio katika song. Kete mana bei. Ibadi malo. Kama mko umezaliwa.
Watu wa maswali, nani amemaliza lete? Paul, kunja. Kunja isionekane. Haya. Mwenye amemaliza. Kimaliza leta. Kama unaniambia swali hapa, leta swali. Kwani pesa?
The same now.
Hao pia wakunje wakupeza.
Wanipatia. Kuja nisio.
Andika wewe, hizi papers hizi vitabu mnapewa taxation. Wengine wanaandika vitu vingine.
Naomba sana.
Ama hii itakuwa unit ya next sem. Nani ataleta? Kuja. Rasha. Nani ataleta? I think you are remaining with the question here. I think I've collected all the questions from this side. Not yet.
So what do I do with the answer collection?
Kila mtu amekupea?
Bado watatu wawili ni moja I think.
Haya.
Ati are you married spiritually? Are you married? Are you married spiritually? Yes, it is really married.
Kama uko na swali enda darasa hili. Haya, tunaanza.
Huku ni answers.
Huku ni answers sasa.
Huku ni swali.
Haya. Panga laini vizuri, panga laini vizuri. Kama kuna dictators. Haya, tunaanza. Panga laini. Please state one vizuri. Huko pia mpange kulaini state one. Majibu zimeanza na soma. Kwa kwanza soma question yako unamjibu. Na yako kwenye imeandikwa tu hapo.
Okay.
Ananijibu. In case of an addiction, what can be done to achieve behavior change?
Soma jibu.
This is SPAK.
This is SPAK.
Soma.
UCSPAK.
Soma swali.
What's my name in full?
Sasa soma tu jibu yako.
No.
Next.
I guess it is not a question, but it says Lisa and Amos.
So it means someone from this side never gave us the answer. This should be an answer. No matter wengine wale miss.
Okay.
Okay. That's no problem. Uko na swali? Au uko na swali tulia. Next.
We have got two queries. One, how do you rate meals so far?
Mwenye uko na nini? Jibu hiyo. Amauliza nini?
Huyu atajibu
How do you rate
meals so far?
Meals. Food. Anything which assume you are okay, do you mean by as a rating of 1 to 10? Next, mwenye kuna swali asome. Mwenye kuna jibu hapo asome.
There comes the answer.
It's Christ.
Next is what is the minimum amount that one can invest in Mwanafunzi Investment Fund?
Soma tu jibu.
Moja.
Moja. Haya. Serious.
Are you saved or born again?
Serving.
Next.
What's black tax pressure?
What?
Black tax
What is black tax pressure?
Tupe jibu.
Economy, because there is poverty.
What do most young people value?
Take action.
What's your name?
Argentina to win World Cup.
How will GMOs affect health and economy? How will GMOs affect health and economy?
Jibu.
Yes, it is really valued by youths.
What do you want to be in life?
You want to be in life?
Peer pressure, yes. No.
What is your inspiration in this life?
God, man.
governor of Nairobi?
Religion.
Next, who is a character?
Yes, I have benefited a lot.
You come from which institution?
Budget for education 400. Budget for education 400 billion.
Next. What is the weather today?
Plant trees.
What?
Plant trees.
That is almost. Anyway, and the next person?
What is the forest cover in Kenya?
Money.
Okay,
and then next?
Who is known as the father of GMO?
Who is known as the father of? Ryan.
Yes.
Yes. Next.
What name is given to Kenya's football team?
What name?
Is given to Kenyan football team.
To Kenya football team.
Youth empowerment, yes, we have hope. Youth empowerment, yes, we have hope and say no to drugs.
Who is the most expensive football player?
COP27 Egypt.
COP27
Egypt. Wow. That's the most expensive one. Next.
What is the role of songs in politics?
What is the
role of songs?
Assassination. Director, Chacha. Ikawa bado zipo.
If you were to die in the next 3 hours, what would you do?
If you are to die in the next 3 hours, what will you do?
Kuna mtu kwenye baada ya sema
Dean took over.
I want everybody to take a look at a photo of my next guest, Martina. Now, at this age, Martina desperately wanted to look like so after 10 years in several Cossack churches, Martina transformed her looks into this.
Wow.
But she wasn't done. 6 months ago, Martina made this transformation yet. Through chemical injections and body modification, Martina now considers herself a black woman. She never felt comfortable in her own skin.
That's why I want to create a more beautiful body. That's why it's not long hair and long legs, but much different.
Martina began to dream about having plastic surgery to replace the height of Pamela Anderson.
I wish at Pamela Anderson to me that was and I was to look like that.
And the surgeries began. Martina wanted it all.
In Sudan first, I got very stretchy, and also and I also had the liposuction to get long body.
But after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on plastic surgeries, Martina was ready for her most shocking transformation of all.
I got 3 injections in the belly to change my skin color, and now I'm raw owner of black skin.
Today, Martina says she has changed her race and now identifies as a black woman. Everyone, welcome Martina Bailey. What's wrong with that woman? She looks beautiful. So what's wrong with that person?
I like myself, but I also like to do photos. But on the photo that you see, if you have the clothes of sometimes, there will be so much more.
So you wanted to look like Pamela Anderson because you like her curves?
Yeah.
And so then you became what you thought was Pamela Anderson.
A little bit more.
But now, looking like Pamela Anderson wasn't enough for you.
Yeah, I'm creating myself a screen viewer.
What happened here? What did you do?
As in 2012, I had my main surgeries, I got a rhinoplasty, I got porcelain on the teeth, I get my first lip filler, and then in summer, I got a liposuction from the waist, the hips, and the legs to get long Barbie legs. And in December 12, I got this implanted. It's really stretchy. And
when did you get injections to look darker?
This January. So in middle of January, I got 3 injections in the belly, and after the first week, you can see going darker and darker. But
do you think you're a black person?
Yeah.
You have to learn a lot.
Yeah.
I see. You know, Martina, everybody who's watching this, who is a person of color, are going to say, it's not just skin deep. I mean, do you think you want to learn about the black culture? Do you think you can absorb all that?
I know, I feel a lot of this stuff.
You feel it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because your skin is dark?
No. At the beginning, I only wanted to have more tan.
Yeah.
But when I got into my these injections, and the first 3 months, I like the contrast of long blonde hairs and dark skin. But then I realized in the mirror, your eye color is also changing. Your eyebrow color is changing. The regrowing hairs is also changing. Meanwhile, I can see my regrowing hairs are also coming. So this is the extensions, extensions. But hopefully next year I don't need any extensions because my regrowing hairs are black and curly.
You know, being black is not about extensions. It's just By the way, your husband, Michael, is here, isn't he? Michael, nice to see you. I might as well ask you, do you feel black?
I'm a medium. I have got a dark.
You're a medium?
It's more like an intensive summertime. It's this new medicine were tested on several people, and for Martina, it works especially good.
These are some of the statements you made to my producers, Martina. You're saying, it's better to be black, the feeling inside is just happiness. These injections are vague, aren't they?
In the previous cancellation, they said 7 months it will go. But when I met with the doctor again, and wow, it's working for you much more intensive. I don't know when it's going.
But if they start fading, are you going to feel less black?
No, I'm going to ask them to get more injections.
I see. You also said, I am black, that is my race. I can't wait to go to Africa because I hear the food is tasty.
But when we talked about her favorite food, she told me she likes to eat rice and vegetables and all this stuff and the spices she told me.
Finally, do you think that you are offending people who were born black? Do you think you're offending anyone who is naturally black? Do you think you're offending those people?
No, I don't want to attack them. I don't want to attack them. I know some feel attacked, but it's not my intention to attack somebody, and it's not a media attention stuff. Right. It's I feel it for myself. I do it for myself. I only talk to people who want to talk with me about it.
I'm sure that it sounds in your experience that you keep trying to find something. I'm sure there's going to be something else you're going to try to find in the future. So, good luck to you. And, you know, I don't want to feel badly for anyone, but you're different.
Yeah.
We'll be back right after that.
That's the extent of our image. If you're not comfortable in your skin, we lead you. Who is your idol? Is it you or another person? You want to match another person? It came from that our image sometimes, if you get preoccupied with it, inafanya maisha kuwa pia ngumu. All right. Before we went for lunch, three helped us to understand some pressures that university students go through. Na kwa herufi kubwa, kuinama imejitokeza wazi wazi. And alieleza vizuri, we understand what it means. Mimi bado sijanyita hii story ya kuinama. Ukiinuka,
when you start, you will be on a head-on collision at lunch.
Oh,
so you bend.
So I bend.
And the bending is not
so and the bending is not literally bending.
It is literal.
Huh? It is literal.
Give way to the opportunity to have lunch pass you. So it's both literally and metaphorical. Okay. So you give way for that opportunity. No,
for that lunch, Peter. It's what we used to call airbag. Unakula airbag. Okay. Ni sawa. Hapo unaenda window shopping. Sema acha niende town nione displays. Alafu your time inapita. Alafu unasema it affects you academically. There's also pressure to do with relationship. We will not talk about this after each session. Because the relationship is, a human being is a relational being. And since we are talking about economic empowerment, there are some relationships when we are in, they help us to prosper economically. The opposite is equally can happen. That the kind of relation you are in cannot help you prosper economically. Hiyo tutaangalia baadaye. Black tax as a pressure from Ambaro. And somebody shared here yesterday that the brother is calling home, there is nothing. Anapiga home anaambiwa Z, now he calls the bigger brother. Or the bigger brother is called, we are planting, tumaka kitu. It's huge. Because according to you, you are saying that our parents assume while you're in the university you're earning. Okay? Perhaps it is as a result of the impression you have created. You know, when you left your home, ile nguo ulitoka nayo wanajua. Even the suitcase, ulienda now stage, they know. Then semester 1 passes, semester 2, you are a totally different person. From the hair to the toe. Wengine hata wana mzazi anauliza unatafuta nani? Kwa mfano your name? Boke. Oh, Boke hayuko, Boke alienda shule na ni Boke anaongelesha. The way you left and how you are coming back, we can see your lack of struggle, you are no longer struggling. From the outlook, you are somehow stable. You know, sometimes we act based on what we see. Si ndio? Ukikuja nyumbani umechapa, mzazi atakuhurumia, anasema please kama nipikie chai. Inaonekana uko shule kuteseka sana. But imagine you've gone home with a Uber.
Yeah, sure.
Mashanga, huyo ni mgeni mgani ameingia mtoto wao? What would prevent them from asking you? I always forget my birthday. sio kwa kutaka, but I am reminded, so it doesn't pass. Si nami. Naambia leo ni birthday yako, utatufanyaje? Yeah. So the last birthday this year, that kagala I'm talking about, amekuja nyumbani na amekuja na wine. Ndio naangalia kama mzazi. Nasema baba, hiyo ni your birthday yako. Unajua quickly kabla useme asante una run into pesa ngapi? Na huyu ni mtu ananiambia sijalipa rent mwezi. Are you seeing? Some it's giving back. So in other words, you agree you can give back. You're black tax. So, hii mambo ya our outlook, I'm not saying uparare. Unaelewa? Usiangalie unakaa shida, unanuka shida. No. Lakini ukiona mzazi anaitisha mtoto pesa, kuna venye you've shown some signs that you one in a way, kuna kauzito fulani unaweza wa surprise nayo. Lakini ikizidi unaweza elezea, the other time I sent you money because I did some, nikapata nikawatumia. Saa hizi niko chut, you would understand. Yeah? Employment uncertainty. Jamanduthi. Wapi ile msanduthi? Umebeba na msanduthi, nipeleke wapi? Shule wa? Oh, masaa. Ati alafu nakuuliza unasomea nini? BCom. Bachelor of Commerce. Alafu nakwambia hata mimi nilifanya hiyo. You get shocked. Amekudimu rais kabisa. Anasema nao kama watu wa BCom wanakaa hivi. Nakombelea. Unaona hapa kuisha mambo yangu.
Okay, as a person, I stopped getting shocked. Nasemanga, nikimaliza kazi, God will give me my work your time. Hiyo ni yake na Mungu wake. Actually it's true. I normally don't get shocked anymore. Juzi niona a friend of mine took medicine. Akapata second class hapa. Akapata tawa. Hapo tu. You feel pain, unashuka lakini sitaki niende kwa kichwa. Because alifanya medicine, alikuwa a good student, kwani shike kwa. But it stopped bothering me.
Okay. It's back to the principle of you better get prepared for an opportunity and don't have it now. Na an opportunity ya tunatafuta mtu wa BCom kujeni and you didn't complete. Si unajua unajieliminate. I know in the society there are people who are out to demoralize others. Kuna wengi wameenda university wako mpaka na masters na tunawaona tu hapa. So why struggle? That is his journey, that is his story.
About the other part, side of view. Unafanya hiyo BCom. Unapatana na mzee. I did that BCom. Currently I'm working with the UN.
Yeah. How do you feel? There is the other flip of it. Sio? Badala ya mzee wa Duthi, how many other BComs guys are earning very well out of that?
A lot.
So it depends on where you want to see. Macho iko wapi?
Empty glass.
Glass half full or half empty? Sio? Are you seeing this? What is this? The dot. Kila mtu macho yake inaenda kwa dot. Not kwa white surface. He may be one of the few BCom guys who got the lowest grade. Sinio? So BCom ni jina tu lakini kwambia ukumuliza uliget.
Those were the lucky one.
But that should not limit you from this is your chance. Hii ni time yangu. Wacha nijikaze nimalize. Tomorrow my become might save me. Unaelewa?
The connection mentality really like believe that even if I go to school, I don't have connection out there. There is no need of like that job setting, God doing other jobs like here and me. More like that.
Do you know how I got to doing what I'm doing today? I told you, first I did stores and supplies management. Then an opportunity like this came for people to undergo through that process we are going through now. And the guy who was chosen failed to show up. And I was told, please come. I said, okay, see, mimi ni second generation. Wacha niende. Then I sat back and went through that process. Nikajiita mkutano, nikasema, honestly, Alphonse, do you want to deal with items or you want to deal with the people? Because if that thing has impacted on you, I'm sure it can impact on so many other persons. Then he started volunteering for free. Then slowly, unapewa 300 in a week. Najua 300 kishapewa unasema at least hii naweka kando, nimelipa Kenya. Mzee wa Langa anajua. Nimelipa Kenya. You struggle. Then no, say, okay, there's something in that young man. So the office in Nairobi, there was a vacancy. A guy who was doing this thing was called to start it in South Africa. So those who came to train us on it, akasema, oh, there's a young man, niliona nikana anaweza jituma. Si akuja volunteer huko. So I came as a volunteer. But I realized volunteering in Nairobi is different from So that time what they called volunteer, they're giving you 10,000 in a month. From Sota to 10K. Si umeona mwanga. But because I didn't have a house, we were sharing. Mwisho wa mwezi, I give my 3K. The person I'm staying with brings 3K to tumelipa nyumba. I'm left with 7. I have to put aside transport because commuting from Kibera to Thika Road, Ruaraka, you connect twice. So you want to make sure you make a 1,500 on the side just for transport, right? I'm left with 55. You know, at home, my mother knew ameenda Nairobi kufanya kazi. Sio? So lazima utume kakitu. And in those days, there were no M-Pesa. In 2000, there was no M-Pesa. So unachukua tu kanini unaingiza do ndani. Inaitwa nini? Success card. Bahasha unaingiza do ndani, unaweka kwa posta, unasema endeni mchukue huko. Calls were on the booth. Mimi hamkupata booth. Yenye what you are saying mtu anasikia. Na wako pale wanasema maliza haraka. Pia sisi tunataka kuongea. Anyhow, so you take like 1,000, you send home. You are left with 45. Unajiuliza na sasa mimi nitakaa kwa nyumba ya wenyewe forever. So I start saving kidogo kidogo. In the next 2 months na mimi nijitoe. And you know Nairobi wezi ama tu. You must have a deposit and the rent. So it is double. Okay? And then ingine unasema angalau nimejibulia underwear at least. For a man what is important is your shoes and your belt. Hata kama una do. Wakiona wanajua jamaa wako square. So, slowly hivyo. Then I moved to my own house, pole through savings, niliwaambia Sako. I bought a plot in Katani, 2013 because post-election violence ilionyesha kivumbi. Nikasema election nyingine ilipata 2007 2008. Remember? Ilikuwa noma. Nikasema next time we are going to vote is in 2013. So you give yourself 5 years. Hata kama itakuwa ni nyumba ya carton. At least. You get? So sometimes we say experience, connection. People will see, they'll spot, they'll see you. Even where you're volunteering, they'll say, aha, that girl is so much dedicated to her job. Wanaangalia tu ufika saa ngapi. Ushafika na kifungua una. They start entrusting you with the key. Slowly they see your dedication and commitment, and then you write nicely in your CV. What have you been doing? What experience? Experience is what have you been doing? And because you've gone to the university, even if you are selling cabbage, there is a way you can put in a CV, mtu asione ni you are selling a cabbage. Angalia anasema, hey, what a qualified person dealing with agricultural products. So let's not be afraid at yo wameweka advert pale, siwezi nini juu mimi sina hiyo experience. I'm sure there are areas you volunteered even when you are still in school. Don't just let it go like that. Put it in a very colorful with big English. It will count.
And let me just add something. Again, for example, if you're applying for a job, make sure you look at the qualification. Do you have all of them? If you don't have, give yourself maybe 1 year. Can I learn this in 1 year? Again, don't go for 5 years. There's entry job level. So look at such kind of things. Then believe in hard work. If you're hard work, somebody is going to whatever you're doing. And one day you're going to be rewarded. And somebody, if you have a godfather in your job, just know and that maybe, for example, that is the end of you.
The end of you.
So earn your place in the places where you are.
So from stores and supplies, nikaanza kuingia mambo na community development. I tried degree with UNISA 2 years, but because of the logistics, you have to go there for workshops, na nini, very expensive. So I asked them, can I transfer my credits, the units I've done, so that I can, if not do a degree in Kenya, at least I can do higher diploma with what I've already done so far. They accepted. Wakanitumia hiyo transcript. I went to Premise Africa, that is so much in community development. When I showed them, luckily, the CEO there got his doctorate from UNISA. So akajua hapa ni mambo ya BA, no big deal. 1.5 years, I have my diploma, higher diploma in community development. But that one doesn't count so much. What counts is can I match my credential in terms of output and delivery. Tuko pamoja? Yes. So hii watu wakituambia hakuna mahali tunaenda bila connections, that's a lie. Very many people have gone to places without connections. Their connection is themselves and the hard work they put into it. You had raised your hand, please.
Most of the young people, we feel like we are entitled to jobs. Because I have a degree, I feel that after immediately I do graduate, I'd serve this job. And again, the current world needs for you to show some other extra skills that you have. And at the end of the day, your certificate is going to be like an added advantage. Like you have said something about volunteering. There is power in volunteering. And for instance, personally, I'm a student. I've been volunteering in so many organizations. There are so many job opportunities. The question is, how well are you prepared for them and how well are you positioned for them? So let's not stop complaining that there are no jobs. Let's volunteer, network, attend forums like this one. There's no day we're going to miss a job. Yeah.
Okay. Unajua nataka utoke ni waseme angalau space imebakia. Compare ile kubwa. So wanakuambia hata kusoma no. Soma zaidi. Hata ikiwezekana. So why are we talking about pressure? Just like values. Pressure is inevitable in life. Pressure is a must. As long as you are living, you will be subjected to pressure. I face pressure. Everybody for himself, God for us all. Luckily, they knew how to swim. Okay? So, then they were separated. Alice found herself with Mark in one island. You're following? Okay? You're following? Then James finds himself with Peter in another island. Okay? Now Alice is worried. I say, hey, we thank God we have survived. But if we have survived, most likely hata wale wengine wame survive. But how do we get to that other island to see if they've survived? As they are contemplating, they find within this island there is another gentleman who's called tumuita nani? Eric.
James and Peter find Eric.
No. Alice and Mark finds Eric, and Eric owns a small boat. Okay? So Alice approaches Eric and tells Eric, please, could you lend us your boat? We were 4. We use it to go to the other island and find out if our friends are also safe. Eric responds by saying, no problem. Bora tu nionjeshe. So Eric tells Alice, well, I don't mind as long as fear women. I don't mind. Now Alice is other Mandela Shaka. Now what do I do? This is another pressure I didn't expect. As she's thinking how to respond, remember they were with who? Mark. Mark comes and say, Najua Alice, if I were James, I would understand that you gave him for my sake. Skiza hiyo maneno. If I were James, I would understand. Now I'm a bestie. Okay? Due to that pressure, Alice gives in. Gives them the boat, they go to the other island and they find James and Peter. Alice couldn't hide the secret. He goes to James and says, do you know what it has costed us to get here in the name of love? Because I love you so much, I can do anything for you. You know that song? I will do anything for you. And then says, I had to sleep with Eric for him to give us the boat so that I would come to you, my babe. I hope you are following, because the question is coming at the end. There is a question at the end, okay? James is heartbroken and pushes Alice away. Sema, now you've spoiled everything.
Yes.
And so please, I don't want to see you. Remember, James was with who? Peter. Sindio? Peter sees what is happening and goes to Alice and says, he is not treated you kindly. That's not being genuine. Anyway, Peter says, well, I am am not forcing myself, but if you feel like I am available. Now, the question here is this. Remember, these guys were friends. Out of the 5, now there were 5, whom would you rate to be number 1? Who acted best, and whom would you rate to be the last? Who acted worst, according to you? You don't. Ukona 2, you want to qualify. 1 individual amongst the 5 who acted best according to you. Another individual amongst the 5 who acted terrible. Once.
James. So, according to Peter, James.
So James is the best. I'm one who will always find a way.
What's the time, Bella?
I knew that point.
One who is patient. Because there's a clip I want you to watch. Okay? There's a clip I want you to watch, and it is 50 minutes. Roughly 1 hour. As part of what we've been talking about. The point is this. Kumbuka tulisema pressure is inevitable. Uliandika hiyo? Hello? Okay, comrades. Comrades self. Well, hiyo ni homework. Pressure imeleta shida. It was not meant to be a group work. What I'm saying, what pressure does in our lives is giving us an opportunity to clarify our values. Because based on the value, you either succumb or confront or take a flight. Hello?
Hello.
Hey. Based on your values, when you are subjected to any pressure, you are likely to do 3 things. Under certain circumstances, you'll conform. Conform meaning you'll give in. Okay? But another person will confront. Instead of conforming, they'll say, no, kana boti yako.
Yes, tutaswim.
Kana boti yako, hata tumeswim. Kione. Then out of that confrontation, perhaps Eric would see, this is a lady. Chukua boti, nilikuwa najaribu. Chukua boti.
I met.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I met sometimes.
From the point of man, you know you've never been a man. I am a man. Sometimes they just want to test.
Yes.
Are you a girl with principles or not? Yeah. Na wewe ukiona ati amekujaribu na ukagive in, anasema sasa hii yenye meleto na nino. Clarify your values. 2, pressure is telling you, make a choice. A choice. And you'll make a choice based on, as we say, what you value. For some people, they'll say, whatever you're asking me, sorry. Please, let me even walk away. Umeharibu mood yangu. I didn't know you were... In fact, the respect I had for you. I saw a lady, a gentleman, did yaje? Akamulizia a kiss. The lady did like nikasema would go smiling and say, So make a choice. And your choice will be based on? Yes. The third one, which we look at tomorrow, is never lose confidence. And never be overconfident. Usijipige kifua ati mimi ndio ule msee. Mimi ndio ule msee naendanga bash. Na hata hizo vitu wanasema mimi silewi. Atuko azishiki. That's being overconfident. Tuenda mahali wakone yeye msema jipiga kifua. Tutamuongezea na tap tap tuone. Uanze kutapika unatapika intestines. Kitu yenye hakuna. But also don't lose your confidence. Somebody gave an example. I think it was George. Comrade Beba. Alafu kifo hale ni. Kama itakuaje? It take confidence to step aside and say, no, I don't do that. I'm sorry, I don't do that. But you can only when you know what you stand for.
Do you think that society really offers that space to clarify values? Like, do you think society really cares if you really clarify your values as a person?
It is not up to the society as far as this is concerned now. Of course, the society don't care. Wanasema anajifanya vajo. Kione sura kama chapati. Wewe ushaona sura ile kama chapati. Anaringa na hata hiyo kitu ana. That is the society. Lakini wewe unajua hiyo ni yako. Mimi niko nayo.
But being that human being are opportunistic, do you think, let us be realistic, not hypothetical. Do you think we really do these things apart from, writing them down?
Yes.
Yes. Like, let us be sincere. We are living in a world where there is no employment. And my boss, I'm a lady, this guy is asking for sex. This is 3 minutes thing, and then I'm going to get a job.
You see, I like the way you are bringing it up. By the time this person is suggesting this way, somebody was clarified their values. After that, and say, by the time ameuliza nani mwingine. You are not the first one, and you will not be the last.
A new promotion is here.
And maybe they're also testing. Are you that kind of person? Yeah. And you ukiulizwa tu. In fact, if you give in, you're fired, no job. Hapo tumalize bana. Yeah, that's the reality you're talking about.
Yeah, tell us. Let's use a school setup. We're supposed to graduate maybe in 20 Okay, December. By 10th, gonna 1 mark for you to get your transcript. And your only way to that transcript is set. How many girls have fallen into that? Usijifanye.
There is a photo.
Okay, two other girls.
How many?
Put yourself.
Put yourself. Now, put myself that.
Yeah. Yes. You see, pressure will always put you between a rock and a hard surface. Pressure, one thing we need to understand here, we say number one, pressure is inevitable. So, the second thing you need to note down, pressure will come to you at your vulnerability point, when you're most vulnerable. Hello?
Hello.
Pressure will come to us when we are vulnerable. Umelala njaa siku mbili ndio nakuambia ni aje. niko na sultana hapa lakini nionjeshe. Ama unaona vile umesema you have only one, you are very vulnerable. That's when you are tempted. People are never tempted when they are strong.
When you have,
they are tempted at their weakest point. Anasema huyu ana mahali pa kuenda. They are desperate situations. That's when people say, you know, siwe ni mwana wa Mungu, si ubadilishe hizi mawe zikuwe mkate ukule. Mjamaa hajakula siku ngapi? Sio 3 vote. That's just from. So pressure will not come to you when you've done your exams, kila kitu iko check. No. They look at sasa wewe hauna mbele wala nyuma, ndio nasema this person is at the vulnerable point. Let me take advantage. And then people will say, kama hiyo ndio graduation, let me think about it. Let me think about it. And as you think, perhaps there will be other way out on how to get that transcript. Nanpata? So it is not like I have hit a wall, no dead end. Because you are not aware. Normally when people are not aware of their values and what they stand for, they give in very easily. Very easily. And then later on you say you passed or
you are good.
Your degree will haunt you the rest of your life. You know, tutakuja tu graduation. Wero kamune wa kinya kia wa. Lakini deep down you know how you've cheated yourself.
But it seems like it doesn't, from the old people who cheated and even our politicians, it seems that the effects going with time and you become immune.
You see, that's where we go wrong. That's where we go wrong.
Like you say, it's just with you. Ukiwa guilty, when you have done something wrong, like inakuanga na wewe tu, like as much as utatudanganya in the society that I am good, like you're smiling, nini. But the moment unaenda unakaa peke yako kwa kitanda, Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you, you've ever stopped when you were young? Si bado ilikuwa inakuuma. I'm saying when you were young, si ilikuwa inakuuma umeiba na ukadanganya mzazi wako when you were young.
When in lifetime, you see, once the conscience is eroded, remember the 4 things we were talking about yesterday. Because the conscience, it reaches a point. What is the conscience? The conscience is the internal voice that cautions you, tells you when you are just about, even if nobody is watching, you are just by yourself, and you are about to do something that even your dignity is not at peace with. If you defy it, and I say if you defy it, you do it again and again, it gives up on you. You say, who you are miliki? Because in this life, people will, under pressure, people will find themselves in either of the 4 categories. Okay? Category 1 are those ones who see a problem. They are called sensible persons. They see a problem and they divert. But an unthinking person will get into it and regret later. Sema nyewe nimefanya lakini ni mimi tu najua. Ni mimi tu najua. God have mercy. I cannot tell even my children. It's just me and him. So the sensible person will see hapa ni mtego. Wacha nijitoe. Okay? That category 1. Category 2 are those ones, them they learn from other people's experience. they don't have to go through that experience. Anasema, niliona nani vile kilimumania. Wacha nikae mbali. That's category 2. Category 3, them, they are called the stupid. They burn their fingers every day and they never learn. Jamaa amesema, sitawahi rudia walai situation inadai mara ya mwisho. Hiyo ndio mara ya mwisho. And the Bible says, even if you beat them until they are half dead, you cannot beat the foolishness in them. Unaelewa? Category 4 ni wale ambao wanasema, okay, as for me, let me see how it goes. Let me first of all, wanangoja wengine wa test waters. Ndio kakimwana anasema, hapana. You are raising your hand? Yes.
We actually live in our socialistic world.
That's true.
And there is usually no time that values move through the table. Most likely your values won't give you a degree. And if you don't feel bad about it as a person, it won't affect you. You'll only feel bad about it if you think it's wrong. But if you're doing a wrong thing, but in yourself you feel it's okay, then it won't bother you, it won't hurt you, you won't feel you did a bad thing. Yeah.
Okay. We are starting there.
What I want to say in this room, or even in the world, there are two types of people. The ones that are conscious, and then the ones who don't feel anything. We're not going to, as in we shouldn't even like make this an argument, because let's say me and her today will argue the whole day, because for me, if I do something wrong, it haunts me. Maybe her or anyone else, it won't haunt them. I don't think it's making it right, doing it right. We just live with what, if the consciousness inside you is dead, then it doesn't mean ours should die because yours is dead.
I'm coming. All those hands are there.
What I can say is this question was more, does these motivational talks really apply in real life?
They do.
When you're told that you can change, does it really happen that you can change? I think what I can say is there are people who are alive and they are well aware of themselves. There are people today, if you tell them that they are mean, they're not too generous, they will not feel like you've insulted them. They know they are mean. Sometimes you tell people, you are too proud, you think you'll hurt them. They know that you're proud, so they don't get it. That is a very high level of mastering yourself. There are people even today, when the values were... By the way, it's true. And if it applied to me, I hope it applied to some people. There are some times when these values were displayed here, you are looking at some values and wondering, hey, integrity, reputation. You start finding where reputation applies in your life and you're really looking for it. Meaning that most of us have not reached a level of self-awareness. How much can you say you care about reputation? Today, if you're told, tell us about how you care about it. Some people will say, me, I don't care. Others will say, I'm very much focused about how people view me. So there are people who have actually advanced in mastering themselves. If you tell them, how does your face look? I can tell you, there is a story which she shared, and she can share it if she likes sometime in the future, which was really inspiring. About coming to know yourself such that when somebody says, you look like this, you don't want. I know I look like that. There are some people who will tell you, you go back.
So what?
I don't get surprised because I already know myself. When I look at myself, and it's not because I'm suffering. So there are some people who don't really know themselves. They suffer. But there are people who have mastered themselves. They know kama ni story ya principles za integrity, mimi najuanga ni kwa integrity inafika hapa. Okay? Beyond there, me integrity yangu ifanyaje? Mama ni absolute. There are people who know. But there are people, I sat in a table and somebody said, okay, you're doing a program. How much does it give back to Christianity? I'm a Christian and I only subscribe to things which benefit Christianity. So we have to find a way. No, this guy is very clear about what he wants. In this program, we cannot only run it, but also incorporate Christianity. Because he's very clear about his spiritual values. So we have to say, after we do everything, we shall be going to the church. We do free revivals. So, people are very clear. Somebody here, you ask them, so you say you have values in Christianity. What values do you have in Christianity? I go to church. Those are not exactly, not specific. There are people, if today you wake up and tell them things, they will just tell you off and feel nothing about it. Because I was sharing yesterday with Billy and we were wondering. Some people might come and tell you, accuse you of something. You are accused of something very seriously. It looks like it is true. But then at the end of it all, if you have mastered yourself properly, you ask yourself, is that really me? You say, it is not me. So why are you worried? And I think it takes time to reach that kind of level.
Yes.
It is possible to reach that level.
Billy, your hand was up. Who else? You were here. From him we come there, then we go back there. Inaonekana sasa hii yetu tutaiwatch kesho. Because it's already it's time. Okay.
So, I wanted to address, especially what Bella and the lady was saying. It is based on a simple but very ancient psychological nature of humans. Humans, as you said, are social beings, just like lions and monkeys. The first pillar of social detriment in any social club is ostracization. And ostracization, which is being excluded, comes from people finding out things about you that do not conform to their worldview. So if you have things in the closet, or in the closet means that things in the fog that you don't want people to find out, you're looking out to say, like, you don't want to risk in the future to miss out on opportunities. Which brings me to my second point, that being ethical, as pragmatic as I can be, being ethical is just long-term selfishness.
It's just long-term?
Selfishness. I'm just being pragmatic. Let me explain. You are being ethical with the promise in your mind of a reward at the end. That's what religion is based upon. You're saying that I will do good, I will not steal, I will not be corrupt, because according to Christianity, what if these guys, the pastors, came together and said, okay guys, from today there is no hell, and then you see the kind of anarchy that will result. So if you are behaving in a certain way, you do not want to get an STD, a sexually transmitted diploma or degree, just because you're saying that maybe I'll be rewarded I'm protecting my values. It's just because you think up on belly there's a reward.
The notion is wrong. If that is the motivation, then you're on the wrong path. You know, if you say I'll do good, whether there is but your own self, you know, this is me. Now, how can I escape from this? A guy came to me some years back. He was in this group of hired to kill. You know, their role is just to kuna mission. Mse fulani, time fulani, enda umalizie mambo yako baadaye. You know, it is a network. Once umeingia, you are being trailed every step that you go. Though he was doing that, deep down, he was not comfortable and he wanted a way out. So through probing na nini, nikamuliza, what do you think? Is it the end? Akasema no. Is there a way you can escape? Akasema kama ningevuka tu border niende Tanzania. Because hata leo niko na wewe hapa, lakini najua after 2 hours nitaulizwa niko hapa. Na hiyo job mimi yenyewe hapana. So tukaprobe how are you getting to Tanzania. When you get there, mimi sema okay. Eventually he decided kama mbaya how far is Tanzania from Nairobi? It's just 2 hours and you are across Namanga. I didn't see that guy from that moment today. So maybe he found his way out. So in reality tunasema yes, reality. The reality is the life you are living, is the story we are telling. There are people who will tell you, okay, hata kama utanikata kichwa, I am not going to give you the password. Na amekufa. Lakini mwingine ataambiwa tu na chokora, nipe 50 bob ama nikupake ishonde. Ushatoa haraka. You know, in Nairobi they used to be very scary kwa hizo public toilets. Umeenda tu kujisaidia, chokora amefika. Nikudare, nikuache, ama nikurepu, ama nikupake shonde. Sema haki. Nidare, pole, mimi ni bibi ya wenyewe. That's vulnerable situation. Now nauliza, who am I at this moment? Yes, please. I'm coming to you next.
I'll try to make this as possible. I hope I'm audible. In life, you have to understand that there is always a positive thing and a negative thing. The same way I beg to differ with you, the same way you are telling people to be whom they are. Sometimes you are who you are, but in a wrong way.
I am who I am in the wrong way.
Are you getting it? Okay, I tell a chokora, I'll use your example, you should stop being this. And that is what he is. He's a chokora. I tell him I want to change your life. And he tells me, this is who I am.
No, you see, you are the wrong notion. You are telling him, you can never change an individual. You are behaving like a chief, ambaye yanaenda kwa kijiji, akaambia watu nataka nione kila mtu na choo. Ndio tumalize hii story ya cholera. Of course everybody had a toilet, but they were not using it. The following week you went to inspect. Wapi choo yenu? Mzazi aliita tu mtoto. Joni, hebu kuja wewe onyesha chief choo yake.
Anyway, I wanted to be clear on the point where this one and this one was arguing. According to Murphy, according to Murphy, when you are under pressure, there's more likelihood to choose the wrong path to do something.
There's more likelihood?
Choosing the wrong path to do the thing. There's always doing something. Whether you like it or not.
There are 3 options.
Yeah, there are always.
You either conform, confront, or take a flight.
Yeah, and in this matter, a human being has the 2 minds, conscious and subconscious. One of these points, give me, I've forgotten which one exactly. It is usually used when you respond fast. The way I ask you a question, it will be the instant answer. And the other, the same way this lady here was saying, when she sits alone, she feels guilty. Now the other mind is there speaking, telling you this was not the right thing. This is what this other lady is lacking. She's not using that mind. She's using the most used mind.
I feel like
I can't give another person before I do justice to him. Yes. What's the time?
25.
Past.
Yeah.
Okay. Yourself.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, here's my take. I'm actually not surprised by your argument.